BMW 530i winner on November 28th and December 26th. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or over.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Visit us at folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We're making it little by little, step by step, brick by brick. We are making our way to Friday, and we have a great show for you. I think we do on most days, but we have a great show for you today as we get you ready for Friday and the weekend. Okay, as we are... Am I good? Oh, there we go. I don't know if anybody could hear me, but yes, we are back. And we are ready to break down. I don't know if it was a game. We can call it a game, but we can... start here with everything that happened last night. And look, man, I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm not going to sit here and talk about box scores. I'm not going to sit here and talk about this, talk about that when it comes to the Sacramento Kings and last night, because that's a waste of everybody's time. Because the Kings didn't show up last night. Spiritually, physically they were there, but spiritually they did not show up last night. And because they didn't show up last night, there's not a ton to talk about. Now, as far as what they could do physically, we talked about this yesterday. They had 7 guys, right? You had Risache, Jalen Johnson, both 6'8", Porzingis 7'2", Dyson Daniels 6'5", Okongwu 6'10". Then you had little itty bitty Nickeil Alexander-Walker at 6'5", right? I mean, there are just some things that are going to be too tough to overcome. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't put your best foot forward, and the Kings obviously didn't put their best foot forward, but there is a combination of things going on here, and it was just kind of sad. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be sad today, right? I felt sad, and I know they're millionaires, and you shouldn't necessarily feel bad for them, and I don't know that I felt bad for the players. I felt bad in general. For everyone. Just, yes, right? Like when Dave was asked, hey, are you reporting or is it speculation? The answer he gave was just yes. That's how I feel. Well, Allen, who did you feel bad for? Yes. That was the answer. Ramsey behind the glass for us today as Christopher Lott is, as we talked about, enjoying that PTO. Hey, God love you, brother. Mine as well. Speaking of the GOD, I saw this. I was watching the Today Show this morning. Okay, I was just kicking it with the kiddos before I drove on in, and I saw this thing. It was an AI. Okay, it's a new AI, like Episcopal, right? It's called Episcobot. All right, and people are using it to strengthen their faith. Okay, and you can literally talk to an AI version of Jesus, okay? And you can DM Jesus, and Jesus can respond, okay, and will respond, and you can, say whatever you need to say. And, it's always funny when you're watching something on mute because with the kid, they're always loud, so I can't really hear. So I'm just reading the captions. And the first thing I thought is that we might have a very, very easy opportunity on our hands. Now, I don't know. You know, I know in the Bay you got the tech world and there's an app made every 2 seconds, but nowadays it's a lot easier to make an app. But I'm thinking now we make a version of Episcobot, all right? We make a version that is specific to the sports gods, right? When we say the basketball gods or are on our side or not on our side, or the football gods are on our side or not on our side, that's what I'm thinking we should cook up. So I need to work with an engineer out here and see what we can do, because I would imagine that there would be tons of Kings fans downloading that app right now to ask the basketball gods, what's the deal? What did I do to deserve this? What did I do to have to endure what we are enduring? This is scary hours, and we're 12 games into the season. That's where we're at right now. And to me, the difference between some of the other games that we've seen and last night, and I'd even throw Minnesota in there, right? We talked about the Thunder. They're the champs. We talked about some of the Nuggets, right? They're a top pick to win the whole thing. Fine. The Timberwolves game, I don't know. They're a good team, but they ain't that good. They're not 30 points better than the Kings. Last night, to me, also all coming off the heels of Doug Christie kind of sticking his neck out, right, for the team and the organization. Hey, all you haters out there, and what he had to say, to then come out, they lose that game, it was the Nuggets, right? No Zach LaVine last night, but obviously the Hawks don't have Trae Young. To come out and lay such an egg, that's what made it scary hours to me. Sometimes you're going to lose games, right? Sometimes you're going to lose 4 games in a row. That's fine. It ain't fine, but it's going to happen. But last night to me made me think, man, an old saying that we talked about last season when De'Aaron had essentially asked out, okay? He had asked, or he didn't ask out, excuse me, but the belief was that he was on the way out, okay? And I said that these are guys walking the plank. These are guys kind of just waiting for it to be over. Last night, truly, last night was the first time I felt that with this team. Now, we're only 12 games into the season, which sounds crazy, but last night was the first time that I felt that, okay? And to me, I always talk about how if we neglect to mention the X's and O's on this specific team, it's unfair to fans that don't want to blow it up. But last night, what they did was unfair to any Kings fan that has rode for this team, whether it be for a year, for 2 years. Maybe the Beam team got you going. Maybe you've been a fan forever. Anyone that has ever ridden for the Beam team, that's got the stupid cousin that's a Warriors fan, that's got the stupid coworker that's a Lakers fan, anybody out there, they neglected you last night. So today, we're going to talk about the future. Today, when we do talk about the Kings, because we have a lot to talk about today. It gets worse. We got a terrible Thursday night game, a very classic NFL Thursday night game, Thursday night football with the Jets-Patriots to kick off Week 11. But we are going to discuss that. We're going to discuss John Lynch. He was on with the flagship and what's going on with Brandon Ayuk. He's got another, people are saying John Lynch is doing his word salad thing again. So we got NFL to talk about. Manolo Hernandez Duen is going to join us. He is a baseball writer. He's been covering Major League Baseball for years. And he's also a voter, as the MVP is going to be announced tonight. So that's coming up at 1 o'clock. So we have plenty to talk about. But when we do talk about the Kings, and we have roundtable at 12 o'clock, and that's going to be quite the roundtable. When we do talk about the Kings, it's going to be about the future. Because it damn sure is not going to be about what I saw last night. And as far as Doug Christie and where he's looking for answers, maybe I was a game off when it came to the just blow up the starting lineup, right? Maybe it's for a game, maybe it's for more than a game. But do not worry, all right? We are going to play some of that sound from Doug's postgame because I do think it's important because that's the first time we've heard Doug kind of publicly lay into the team. But besides that, we are not talking about what we watched last night because what we watched last night was not NBA level basketball. It wasn't. Some of it was bad matchups. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, you have a Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who the shortest guy on the Hawks. He's essentially a taller player on the Kings, especially a taller guard, if you will. He'd be the tallest guard, Nick Clifford size, whatever you want to call it, who's playing 3, by the way. So some of the stuff they can't control. But when it comes to the X's and O's and, they should have done this, they should have done that, Keon should have played more, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I hope that all of you checked out last night. Unless you wanted to watch some Summer League, and I hope you were still listening to the station, don't get me wrong. But unless you were trying to get some Summer League vibes and watch some of the younger dudes do their thing, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that out loud, but I couldn't do it. Life is too short. I only have a certain amount of time, right? From when number 1 goes to bed to when we got to put number 2 to sleep. And I will be outside of my mind if I'm going to use those 1.5 to 2 hours to watch that garbage last night. I wasn't going to do it. I looked up and we just put the toddler to sleep and there was, I think, 11 minutes left in the fourth. And anybody that's got a significant other, you might be I'm not going to say, you might be the sports person or they're the sports person, whatever it is. My wife just kind of gave me that look, right, as the Kings were down 30. Hey, 10 minutes left in the game. We got the challenge to watch on MTV, new episode. You got to do this? Do you got to watch the next 10 minutes? I said there's no need. There's no need for us to watch the last 10 minutes. Now, the only reason I would argue that you could, and we didn't turn it immediately. Let's see how it gets going a little early here. Now, the only argument I would say is, hey, this is where we saw a Keon Ellis kind of come to the fold. This is where we saw an Isaac Jones kind of come to the fold. That's why you would continue to watch that. But this is my job. You're a listener to this station. You're a viewer of this station. That's not even your job. So you could do it out the love of the game if you want to grind film, but do not feel, and people could say, it's fair weather. No, it's not fair weather. It's protecting, what Marshawn said, protect your chickens, okay? That's what that was last night. Nobody was gaining anything watching every minute of the game last night. And God bless Mark Jones, Katie, the broadcast crew, because they're stuck. But I was not stuck. I'm not doing it, man. It's a long season. You check back in. That's when you are now Google refresh. That's where you're at. We're going to change the channel. Maybe I got you on my phone just to see, but you are not the marquee. You are not the marquee anymore. It's just like we were talking about Ramsey, and it's going to feel like he's getting astray. But a couple years ago, yeah, G-Eazy, he was the main sell in a lot of these situations, music festivals, things like that. Now G-Eazy, he's a with, right? Ty Dolla $ign with G-Eazy, okay?
And Jacquees.
I didn't even bring up Jacquees, but he can sing a little bit. He's gonna be there too. So that's just how life goes, right? So that's what my situation was last night. The Kings went from, hey, you are the headliner, to, hey, babe, I'm not going to put you through this. I'm going to fire it up on my phone. Because they didn't come up to play. They didn't show up to play. So that's where we're at with all this. We got 4 hours. We're going to discuss a lot when it comes to the Kings. Obviously, Sam Amick was on with the morning show talking about the availability, or I guess the market, with some of these names. And, of course, where Doug Christie falls. Is he safe? Is he not? I thought that how Sam laid it out made a lot of sense. Who's saving this, right? And if what Carmichael Dave, what he said all those days ago, a couple days ago, if what he said is the plan, then why would you bring in another coach, right? Where this is all just a means to an end, which was always my fear going into this season. Because how are you as a fan supposed to engage when you know it's just a waiting game? Now, Ramsey's in, so maybe he remembers this movie, and I've joked about it before, but Kyle, come on, Kyle wouldn't remember it. But I said last night on social media, I need the remote control from Adam Sandler from Click. That's what I need, to fast forward to about mid-January. That's what I'd like to do in this season. Now, it's not possible, but it's a tough situation right now for Kings fans because, okay, this whole thing, this whole plan, alleged plan kind of got outed. Brother, it's November 13th. November 13th. So where in the world do they go from here? That is the ultimate question. And they got to do it day by day, step by step, brick by brick, if they want to. You know, these guys make so much money. They could just mail it in. Just mail it in. Auto dissimulate it until January. They could do that too. Because last night, I would hope was the bottom. I don't know if it is or not, but I would hope was the bottom. And I will say this, the conversations that no one has to have or wants to have, we know that this group, this ownership group, they are not fans of two things, okay? They're not fans of home losing streaks, okay? Not that anybody is, but they do not like home losing streaks, and they seem to not like getting embarrassed. And on this homestand, both of those things happen. Now, again, there is no reason to bring in anybody else. But again, this is Doug trying to, you could argue, lay the groundwork to power through what this roster is, right? Should he be the guy, the same thing we're talking about with Jordy Fernandez in Brooklyn. Should he be the guy once we make those changes? Or is somebody going to come in, and as we talk about all the time, somebody gets the butterfly, right? But they didn't have to deal with the caterpillar. That is the fear. And to me, Ramsey, that feels like what Doug is coaching for. Lower expectations, right? But if and when the dynamite goes off, do they say, hey, Doug, we're going to let you, the Mark Dagnall, we're going to let you power through? Or do you bring in the bar rescue, John Taffer, right? Gordon Ramsay, hey, we're bringing in a new head chef, right? We fixed the bar. It's got all this cool new stuff. And the manager who struggled the whole time, you're out. And now we're going to bring in a new manager. That to me is what Doug is coaching for.
I mean, you when you started talking about quote unquote embarrassments, you made me want to get my LeBron James on. Not one, not two, but three.
Yeah.
And they were all in different fashions. Friday night, OKC. They allowed Isaiah Hartenstein to get a career high in points and miss his career high in rebounds by one with a 33-point and 19 rebound performance. Sunday night, Minnesota. Once Anthony Edwards saw a shot go in, it all started rolling downhill in that second quarter. You allowed Jaden McDaniels to go off for 20-plus points. Rudy Gobert had either 18 or 20 and 12. And last night, I was there. I stayed for all 48 minutes.
What was up with the booze?
I mean, they were there, but I had drowned them out. I was already frustrated to start off to begin with.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, yes, I'm going to be here because there are people like myself and others that are employed in some form or fashion. They can't go home. I need to see it because I knew I was going to be in this seat for 4 hours today.
Right.
I need to see all 48 minutes, unfortunately. It almost felt like the definition of insanity. Basically, watching something over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I saw a few things. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised to see DQ, Daquan Plowden, get some tick.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody got their McBucket's chance on. He hit 2 threes late. I had no issue and understood the hockey shift in the third quarter.
Yeah.
As Doug put it. I mean, hey, if the starters ain't getting it done, you got to do something. You got to figure it out some way, somehow. And there were people on the Hawks, in my opinion, that almost had, in my opinion, had career nights.
Yeah.
Onyeka Okongwu, 21 points, 6 of 7 from the field, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And let's not just talk about shooting from him. Let me tell you the shooting percentages of both teams. Sacramento Kings, 39%. The Atlanta Hawks, who were up to at one point in the fourth quarter, 61% shooting from the field, ended up shooting 57.5% from the field, shot 42% from three, 17 of 40. And their players did what they did. Jalen Johnson, 9 of 10. Missed a triple-double by 2 assists. Dyson Daniels, why he might not have scored, I thought he went over it, but I guess they retracted one. But he basically hit his season average of steals of 2, which I thought he had 3 because he's averaging 2.5 steals. Led the league in steals last year as he's doing now. Last year he averaged 3 steals a game. I mean, there were people that should have been on the scouting report, didn't look like they were. Luke Kennard, 5-8 from the field, 13 points, 3-6 from 3. Has led the league in 3-point percentage, and you leave him wide open and he shoots 50% from 3. Yeah. 3-6 from 3. I mean, it was a game to where the person that played the most minutes on the Hawks roster was Dyson Daniels. And that was at 27 minutes. Yeah. 27. They really didn't get what you call, they didn't get any resistance.
No, it was a warm-up.
Yeah, and
it was a warm-up game.
Where the story is truly told is if you look, still looking at the box score, 29-12, second quarter. 39-22, third quarter. The Kings have scored 34 points in the first quarter, excuse me. They scored 34 points combined.
Yeah.
In the second and third quarter.
And that's why, the whole thing about I understand where Doug is coming from. This is not a Doug thing when he's talking about, hey, it all starts on the defensive end. I agree. My whole thing is I do think we're selling this offense. We can live in two worlds. The Kings have good offensive players. That does not mean you have a good offense. And I think those two things are getting mistaken for each other when Doug says, we're not worried about the offense. We can get a bucket whenever we want. Can you?
Last night you couldn't because you shot 39% from the field. Last night you could not.
You have bucket getters, and you were missing one last night, but we don't want to hear it because Trae Young didn't play. But this idea that they have a good offense, no. You have good offensive players. Right? It's the same thing that I feel like I'm in a throwback. I told y'all I was watching Remember the Titans last weekend, but I feel like I'm in a throwback to high school where it says, hey guys, we have good players, but we don't have a good team. And I think that probably is true about the Kings. There's no disrespect. When you fire up the Club 520 podcast, they literally are talking about, man, if Denver could get their hands on Zach LaVine, they'd be crazy. If the Warriors could get their hands on Sabonis, they'd be crazy. All these guys have value.
Jeff Teague tries to break up the Kings almost every time he's on that Club 520 podcast.
That's not just him.
I get it.
That's not just him. So it's not a matter of the team. It's not a matter of the players not being good. There's no disrespect to each and every player. And I do think, going back to some of the ridiculous statements that were said early on to kick off the season that I'm going to defend here on these Sacramento airwaves, it wasn't meant to disrespect the players. It's going to come off as disrespect because anytime somebody says your team is not good or your team is a disaster, that's going to be disrespectful. But my number one word on this show, compartmentalize. There is some compartmentalization where we are not trying to disrespect the players on this team. All the players on this team, or all the main rotation players on this team, they serve a role in the NBA. Some of them are Hall of Famers, but collectively as a unit, it isn't going to work. And we still don't have Keegan Murray back.
Not yet.
Right? But this was the fear. It's going to be too late. I haven't heard anything about the reevaluation. This is week 4. Ramsey, I'm looking. Week 4 ends tomorrow.
I have said this off air. I don't know if Keegan Murray even plays in the 2025 part of the schedule.
I don't know about the calendar year.
Yeah, calendar year.
I mean,
I don't know.
What you rushing him back for?
Exactly, and I got a public service announcement I need to put out. Yeah, everyone knows. I support. I have love. I respect DeMar DeRozan. Debo, you know I love you, but I can constructively criticize you at the same time. I need more than 19 minutes. I need more than 6 shots. Mm-hmm. I need you to give me some buckets. I know 4 points. I don't know if he scored 4 points. Last time he may have scored 4 points in the game, may have dated it all the way back to his rookie year. Mm-hmm. I need more shots, Debo. I said it yesterday. He didn't take that many shots against Denver. I need more shots. And I know, granted, there's a caveat. They played more minutes. They were in the game longer. But when Devin Carter, Nick Clifford, Keon Ellis have more shots than DeMar DeRozan, there's a problem. There's an issue. Get him up, Debo.
I'm just saying, man, if spiritually, and we can talk about on the other side, but spiritually, Ramsey, this is what I was talking about. Just give them a break. I'm not saying I told you so because I did not see this. I did not see this. But this is what I'm talking about. If you're going to be out there and that's the type of effort, Dennis, DeMar, Domantas Sabonis, all of them should have just got a break. I tried to tell them. They'll listen one day, but maybe not today. On the other side, we have some of what Doug Christie said, some of that post game, because I do think it's important that people hear how fiery he was. And as we make our way through the 10 o'clock hour, there is a smidge of hope, I think. I'll tell you what I mean. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda. I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We've got a wet and windy start to your Thursday. Plan for periods of standing water on the roads and rain heavy at times during the morning commute. As we get away from the morning commute, the afternoon will be filled with more passing showers, lighter winds, and highs today in the low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Honda 2025 Accord Pilot and Ridgeline Clearance Event is underway right now at Elk Grove Honda, and that means savings for you. Right now is the right time to save. Come see us at Elk Grove Honda, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Waddywood shut down last winter, so who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Hey, I still work. Okay, I do. Trust me on this one. So you wouldn't know it. The last 4 games, you haven't been able to see it. The last win the Kings have, let us not forget, I know they were missing people, but it was against the JV Warrior team. It was. And the Warriors last night, after all their drama that they had, they came out, and Wemby, they were going. Wemby and the crew and De'Aaron, they were rolling a little bit, and the Warriors, I was getting ready to watch the Kings, of course, but I'm looking, Warriors down 33-17 to start the, in the second quarter, and then I look back and I turn it on because I got my Fubo, and I took I got to cancel that, by the way, but I got my Fubo, and I have a league pass with the Fubo, so I go to turn on the Warrior game. And they're winning. They beat Wemby was still Wemby. De'Aaron turned the ball over at the end of the game. And the Warriors, and the only reason I'm bringing them up is because I think that, look, there are different levels to everything. As we look at the Kings and that lime green court tomorrow night in Minnesota, this to me, I would assume you get Zach LaVine back, but this to me is the Kings version of how the Warriors felt, again, relatively speaking, when they were calling out players. Like, we didn't have that, right? Doug called people out. We're about to hear from him. Doug called people out, But there were no player call-outs, things like that. The Warriors said it ends. It's going to end. We don't know what they're going to do. Tomorrow night, Ramsey, and we'll talk about it as we get to Friday. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow. Is somebody going to say it's going to end? 4-game losing streak. This team embarrassed you on your home court. Now you got to go to the highlighter arena. Is somebody going to say, not today, not today?
They got to. Plus, the game you're referring to, the Golden State of San Antonio game, okay, Steph had 46, but the Warriors had to overcome not one, but two 20-point triple-doubles.
Yeah.
Wembanyama had one. Stephon Castle had one.
Yeah.
And they still found a way to win the game 125-120.
And the person, look, Kuminga actually, real quick, Kuminga watch, by the way. So Kuminga last night, all right? Kuminga goes down. It was either his knee or his ankle.
Knee from what I heard, to the best of my knowledge.
Just to let y'all know, Kuminga watch. Kuminga did not start last night. The Warriors are struggling, okay? Steve Kerr, very similar to what Doug Christie said, we need to do something big, right? We need to make drastic changes. You look up, and I think Will Richards started, and Kuminga was coming off the bench. Kuminga gets injured. Hold on. Does not play the second half. The Warriors play their best ball, and they beat the Spurs. I'm telling y'all, I keep saying.
But y'all want Jonathan Kuminga.
I'm just saying, you don't want Jonathan Kuminga.
No, I do not.
If you are in the camp of the Jonathan Kuminga conversation, Kuminga watch, huge day for the brand. Okay? The Kuminga watchers, huge day for the brand last night. It's beginning. It is starting. I just want to say that. All right, Ramsey, we're not going to play all 12 minutes, but I think the first 5 minutes of what Doug had to say said a lot, and I think it said enough. This is Doug Christie on the note and his postgame as far as what the heck we watched last night.
Shameful compete level. That's it.
Doug, I mean, you kind of just said it there, but I was going to ask you, I mean, after everything that's transpired over the last couple of days, your messages.
We're going to find people that want to compete, period.
Does that come within the locker room, do you think? Or
listen, you got to look in the mirror and say to yourself, we're gonna show each individual film. If that's your compete level, it's unacceptable, period. We gotta compete. That's all. That wasn't a high level of competition. Like, a team plays hard. They're young, and it's taken them a few years to get the right type of wings and athleticism and size, and they've done that. But they just compete hard. That's all. They just getting out in transition and running. Nothing special. But when you play a team like that, you got to compete, period. And if you don't, that'll be the damn result every single time.
Doug, in the third quarter, you took out all the starters. Was that a message, Sub?
Well, it says 33-8 in fast break points. So, yeah, listen. Everybody, every single person. I look in the mirror every morning. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that we right the ship. But unacceptable, period. And if they being real, they're going to tell you the same thing.
Coach Christie, there's a lot of things that could be said about, that stat box, but 31-3 fast break.
Hey.
Did that sound like that's a little lackadaisical to you?
Definitely. 33-8 in fast break points just says that you're not getting back, you're not communicating, you're not building walls, you're not being physical. It also goes with your shot profile. If you're going to shoot bad shots, if you're going to shoot unbalanced floor shots and turn the ball over in live ball turnovers, 20 turnovers and give up 20 points and 33 fast break points. Listen, this ain't about anything but competition and effort, period. You can play that team 10 times, and I doubt you would get a result like that, especially after this. Play them 9 more times. Not if you got no damn pride.
To the point of competition and effort, it seems like these 4 games have all kind of been that similar theme. Do you see it getting worse? Is it regressing in any way for you guys?
I mean, there's confidence. There's a lot of different things that can go into that. But, you're professionals. You signed up for this, and this league is hard. And with that being said, this is only game 12. I mean, it's a lot of basketball to be played. You've demonstrated that you can do this. You played against Oklahoma City and competed at a high level. You went into Milwaukee and beat them. I mean, you've competed against really good teams. And make no mistake about it, all these teams, I mean, Minnesota, Western Conference Finals, OKC, Western Conference Finals eventual champion, Denver Nuggets, semifinal. Like, these are really good teams. But ain't nobody checking for that. You're going to have to play your way out of it, period. If you've ever been to any gym, rec, hood, anywhere, get ran off the court and see if you get some respect. I've been to all of them, and I've taken butt whoopings. Like, that's part of it. But you know what I do? I'm going to come back. Nah, that ain't it. You are not going to represent Sacramento Kings. It just ain't happening, man. Not while I'm here, and you know how that goes. So I'm a realist. It's part of our business. But nah, put on a jersey, represent it properly. These people need to come into the turnstiles, and they need to be proud when they leave here about the product that they see. Not embarrassed. Excuse me. Unacceptable, period. It is. This is a simple one. This ain't even hard. Sometimes you come up here and you're trying to figure out, maybe I'll go back and look at, I don't need to look at no tape. Probably won't look at it. I seen it once live. Damn if you want to look at it again. But I will.
That was Doug Christie. And he let it all out. And he had 7 more minutes. But those first 5 minutes, that was, I think, the most candid. And Doug is always candid. And Doug is always transparent. But that was definitely the most fiery we had ever heard, Doug. And I'll tell you what. A lot of people have said, Allen, what's there to be excited about? This is what we expected. Later in that clip, he talks about big rotation changes. I don't know if it's specifically the starting lineup, but I am really, 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 really paying attention to what that starting lineup and what that rotation looks like on that stupid highlighter court tomorrow night. When we return, we got some calls to get to, of course, at the bottom of the hour. Got to get to my beloved text line as well, and we continue to break down the dream and more of a nightmare that we watched against the Atlanta Hawks. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read Lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home with a 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
No payments for 90 days on every new vehicle in stock at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. That's right. No payments until February 2026. Find them online at sacsuperstore.com, and they're centrally located right across from Hayden Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, the other thing is, too, obviously, Domas still nursing those ribs. This is what I just kept saying. It just didn't seem worth it to me. This was my fear that something like this was my nightmare. Dreams and nightmares. This was my nightmare. They were going to run him out there off a back-to-back, and they were going to get smacked. And that's exactly what happened. This is a good one from Jeff. Jeff said, if we're outmatched from the 916, shout out the 916, if we're outmatched by a bigger team, then why not run out Cardwell, Reynaud, Saric, and Eubanks, If they are so terrible, then why are they on the team and collecting checks? At least try to match up size-wise. Yeah, Jeff, it is a good shout. I just think the reality is all heights aren't created equal, and those guys, even if Nick Clifford is giving up 3 inches to Dyson Daniels or Jalen Johnson, I guess in theory he still is a better option of a defender than a Maxime Reynaud or definitely a Saric or anybody like that, even though they're the same size. To your larger point, and then you have Cardwell as well. To your larger point, it's just not a good roster. I mean, let's go through those names that you just said, okay? And respectfully, of course. Cardwell, Reynaud, Saric, Eubanks. Are any of those guys getting legitimate time on any team that is not tanking?
Drew Eubanks.
Maybe. Okay? We don't know. When Drew decided to sign with Sacramento, we don't know how many how many offers he had, things like that. And to be honest with you, a lot of times, if you in Sacramento, you probably didn't have a ton of offers, right? But that is the answer.
He got minutes with the Clippers last year, and that's
yes.
That was at the beginning of the season.
Yes,
a team that was deemed to be a potential contender.
He got time with them. When they went to the playoffs. Now,
exactly. I'm just talking about he was on that team last year. Now that team was deemed a potential contender, and at the moment they're in a similar position to where the Kings are.
Last season he got 7 minutes with the Clippers. Okay, when he was on the Jazz, he was at 15 minutes. So the one guy who's Drew Eubanks is kind of flirting around with. 7 minutes, that's not even really rotational minutes. So I get what you're saying, Jeff. Why are they on the team? But it's more of the team is not balanced, right? They got to run out, and everybody likes that second unit, but that second unit just isn't big enough. And Drew is in that second unit, but that second unit, you're not going to have, again, you're not going to have who? Dylan, I guess the only argument, and that's why you got Precious. The problem is these teams are sending out multiple dudes that are 6'8", and you got one Precious Achiuwa. So could you and offensively, right, if you want to match up defensively, help us from the heavens above. If you tried to put Precious Achiuwa and Dylan Cardwell on the court at the same time, they might just revoke your NBA card. They might just not let you play the game anymore.
And to validate what you said about teams running players that are 6'8" and further, second unit. Last night, Atlanta Hawks. Onyeka Okongwu, above 6'8". Muhammad Gay, shout out prolific Pratt Napa, above 6'8". Vic Krejci, above 6'8". And these are just players coming off the bench.
Yeah.
I didn't even get into Jalen Johnson, who's, depends on where you look at, listed at 6'7", 6'8". Porzingis. Didn't even mention Zachary Risachet, depending on where you look at and what he's listed at. That's 6. So you mean to tell me you'd be 2 on 6?
Yeah. The only argument is a Reynaud, I guess, in theory, should be matching up with a Risachet at some point. But, Risachet, what? He was a top pick. You know what I mean?
Fellow countrymen. And just to double back on what Doug Christie said, and your point talking about Max, later on in the Doug Christie speech, for those that didn't listen to the entire 12-minute speech, he talked about the hockey shift. Mm-hmm. He was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I threw Max out there. He was like, Max may not have the same talent level as a Okongwu or Jalen Johnson, whoever it was, but at least he was out there giving effort. And he said the same thing about Nick Clifford getting beat on the back cut, but it's not due to lack of effort.
Yeah. And the thing about playing these guys, and this is the argument, right? You would hope in a perfect world that Maxime can match up with some of these dudes eventually. You know what I mean? So if you are hoping that he can do it eventually and you're getting smacked anyway, you might as well see you might as well get him out there and say, hey, this is what's coming in a couple years here if you're going to make it in this league. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Dwayne, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Dwayne? What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, though, man? What's up with the homies?
Man, you know how it is. We surviving right now, Dwayne. We surviving.
As they say, another day, another dollar.
You know, another hard dollar, another hard day, another hard dollar, baby. Now, here's what it is, man. You got a bunch of old dudes out there and a bunch of matchup problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the bench, you got a bunch of young dudes that are frustrated for riding too much pine. So at this point with last night's game, the Kings really look more local than global. And I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, the record's going to be so bad by the trade deadline, it's almost going to constitute tank, right? Because the record's not going to be any good by the time you get to the trade deadline, so you almost have to look to next year. So it's pretty sad this short into the season, and I do feel bad for the 916, man.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dwayne. Great stuff as always. I don't know that we'll have to wait for February, as we were talking about. They do have pieces. Right now, all the pieces kind of have an asterisk next to them, and most of them are the contracts. But the Kings are, if they continue like this, and like I said, I do have a note to make you all feel better, maybe. But if they continue like this, then the reality is they have to decide, do we want to get every cent on every dollar, or do we want to just say, hey, it didn't work. We need to get some value back, but we're not going to be so held up on we need to get every dollar for DeMontis Sabonis or whoever it is, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. It's more important that we just move forward. We got our pick in 20. We got our future picks. It is what it is. It didn't work out. Let's just be done with it. I hate to call it compared to a divorce, but you get to a point where on whatever side, so I've heard, whatever side of it, where you want it to just be over versus, you know what? If you want that, if you want the Ottoman, right? If you want the California King, go ahead. I can just get something else. And it might turn into that. We ain't there yet. And I do have a positive piece as we get to the 11 o'clock hour, but we're also going to talk about the reality when it comes to, is somebody going to say, you know what? I don't want it to end like this, and I don't want my career to end like this, and it's time to ask out. We got all that coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, but some positivity and what could happen with the Kings if they turn it around coming up next. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
The year was 1948. The Sacramento Symphony was founded. Harry Truman was president, and Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver was born. And Walter Keyes opened his first Naturewood home furnishing store 77 years ago on 25th and Broadway. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. All those many years ago, the Keyes family promised integrity and quality in serving families just like yours and mine. Near as I can tell, Walter would have been pretty proud to know that those same values are evident today at Naturewood Home Furnishings. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings. Furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their Veterans Day Save the Tax sale and get started making your own brand of memories. The Keyes family would love to hear them. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Born in 1892 to a socially prominent family, she was the consummate athlete, proficient in golf, tennis, marksmanship, swimming, and car racing. Many considered her the greatest horsewoman of the century. She was a pioneer in the field of golf course development with 3 world-class courses on her resume: the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, Cypress Point, and Pasatiempo. Working for SFB Morse of Pebble Beach fame led to her second golf course development, which many consider to be the greatest golf course in the world, Cypress Point, where she developed a lifelong friendship and professional relationship with famed architect Alistair McKenzie. Pasatiempo in Santa Cruz was her third development, where she hosted the likes of Bobby Jones, Will Rogers, Babe Saharias, and more. Today, her place is alongside many others in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marion Hollins, a visionary golf course architect and pioneer of the game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140.
Rolling down the slab, and I still look good. Pouring up the juice and that can plan over good. Rolling down the slab, and I still look good. Pouring up the juice and that can plan over good. Rolling down the slab, and I still look good. Pouring up the juice and that can plan over good. Rolling down the slab, and I still look good. Pouring up the juice and that can plan over good.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. and we had quite the first hour as we are trying to get through what in the world we watched last night. Now, again, as I lead into hour number 2, I do not want anyone to think that I am patronizing them, but the reality is all of the different radio shows today, whether it's on Sactown Sports or anywhere else or any podcast or any show or any platform, everybody's going to be bagging on the Kings, right? Everybody's going to be bagging on the Kings because the Kings deserve to be bagged on because of how they played last night. And we are bagging on the Kings. Don't get me wrong. It is only 12 games into the season. You are going to get Keegan back at some point. And I do have a list of teams, okay? And this might make you feel maybe, possibly, Ramsey, just a little bit, maybe a little bit better. So at 3-9, all right, at 3-9, this is from Nick Angstadt, and of course, my guy, Locked On Mavs, Locked On Family, stand up. And of course, Nick is the Locked On Mavs guy. So, of course, somebody else on a team that is stinking.
That's 3-9.
Found this stat, okay? So just hang with me here. We're going to talk about how bad they were, and is anybody going to ask out? We are going to get to that, okay? But just real quick, since the 2000-2001 season, okay, there have been 120 teams to start 3-9 or worse. 120 teams to start 3-9 or worse. Only 16 of them have made the playoffs, and 3 of them have been from the West. In 02-03, it was Kobe and Shaq after the three-peat. In 22-23, that was the famous one. That was the Beam Team season. That was LeBron and AD made the Western Conference Finals. And in 2021-2022, the Pelicans, with no Zion, took 64-win Phoenix to 6 games. So, yeah, that percentage is very low.
Championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
It's not a large number, but it has been done. Okay, now look, Kobe and Shaq. Now, if you eliminate, look, the other 2 teams, 2 out of the 3 teams had future Hall of Famers. The Kings have future Hall of Famers. Okay, you got Kobe and Shaq after the three-peat. LeBron and AD, they made the Western Conference Finals. And the most realistic one would be no Zion. The Pelicans made it to the playoffs and took Phoenix to 6 games. So it's not impossible. It's not probable, hardly probable, but it isn't impossible. It's not.
I mean, this is a similar conversation to what people have in the NFL when teams start off like 0-2,
That's right.
0-3.
That's right.
And how many have made the playoffs?
That's exactly right.
Nothing's impossible, but as Nick pointed out, 16 of 120, which is less than 10%,
now
have
do
done
just
it.
Western
And
Conference.
again, 13 of those have come out the East, which from 2000 to 2001 to now, we know the balance of power for the most part in those 25 years has been in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, as he pointed out, the 3 from the West, it's a tall task. It can be done. Don't give up hope. But we're saying it's a tall task at the same time.
Yeah, and look, the 2022 season, the reality is the Western Conference now is stronger than it feels like it's ever been, right? If we were to look back in 2022, because that was when the Warriors won that seat. That was 2022?
I believe so, yeah, when they beat Boston.
And then, yeah, so you had that going on, and then, of course, in 2023, that was the Nuggets, okay? So the other 2 teams, I think the reality is, besides the Pelicans, who I'm not going to sit here and try to speak to the 2022 Pelicans, but I think the reality is, Ramsey, those other 2 teams, Kobe and Shaq after the three-peat, LeBron and AD when they made the Western Conference Finals. And to be fair, that was when they made all those trades at the deadline, right? That was the big shift where it wasn't actually the roster that made it, and everybody thought, whoa, this roster's going to cook, and then the next season it didn't. But the reality is these teams are underperforming, and underperforming by a large margin. Again, we can eliminate the Pelicans because – you know, that to me is the most random one.
And that Pelicans team played the Phoenix team that went to the finals and lost to Milwaukee.
There you go. Yeah. So you had the Kobe and Shaq Lakers, LeBron and AD, the LeBron and AD, those Lakers as well. I think the issue in comparing the possibility with the Kings is that they underperformed last night. There's no doubt. They've underperformed during this losing streak. But how much better are they? That I don't know. Unless they're going to all get the same growth spurt that I've been waiting for all my life, I don't really know how we can compare them, because there's a difference between underperforming and not meeting expectations when the expectations are at a certain level and the performance could be at a certain level. Where the Kings are underperforming, you're talking about a team who is coming off a three-peat, them underperforming as champions, right? The Lakers underperforming as a super team and having LeBron, versus the Kings underperforming when their ceiling is already barely an 8 seed. So that underperforming is a little bit different than these other teams, but it is possible. And it is possible.
And that LeBron and AD team, the Nuggets got the brooms out with them.
Yeah.
The Nuggets just swept them off the floor. I mean, they stood no shot when they went into that series.
What I remember about that is there was all this complaining about the flopping with the Lakers. Then when they went to face the Nuggets, a lot of people said, oh, the flopping doesn't matter when you face a good defense and you face a team that's just better, right? You can't flop your way out of this one, no. LA, right? And they couldn't because the Nuggets were just better. So even still, they made it to the Western Conference Finals, but they weren't the same team, number one. And number two, even in that previous version of the team, they were underperforming to a level where I don't know how much the Kings are underperforming versus who they are. That was always going to be the thing with them.
And in that series that we're referring to, when the Lakers got swept by the Nuggets, Jokic was so locked in it wasn't even funny.
Yeah. So, there is some positivity there. It is possible, but I think the reality is when it comes to other teams and how they are underperforming, where is it on the list and where is it on the scale when it comes to the Kings and what that underperformance looks like? Okay, as we move forward to, I guess, maybe a sadder but more realistic approach as far as the Kings are concerned, is it painfully obvious that we are heading towards a Kings player asking out? All right, I think the main difference here when we compare the De'Aaron Fox situation, and I know he didn't technically ask out, but I think the main difference here is that the guys that are on the team right now for the Kings, their value is easily less than De'Aaron, right? Can you ask out and have a team knowingly take less? Hey, I know that I'm probably making a good bit of cash here, and it might be hard for you to figure out the X's and O's of it or the logistics, but I need to get up out of here, right? The Kings clearly thought the De'Aaron Fox move was even and that the trade was even if we didn't technically ask for it out, and even if we don't think it was even, their thought was we're bringing in a Zach LaVine and we're moving things around. So I think that's the biggest difference when you look at the DeMar DeRozans and not Russell Westbrook, but the DeMar DeRozans and the Domantas Sabonises and the Zach LaVines. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see Zach LaVine asking out. I don't see Domantas Sabonis asking out. The only person that I think would try to come to a resolution, if you will, and I'm solely basing this on how he sounded during that post-game presser that I talk about all the time at the end of the season after they got their doors blown off by the Mavs, is DeMar DeRozan, because he's the one who's, Father Time. He's having the biggest fight with Father Time right now. Russell Westbrook is just hard to evaluate, and he's on a minimum contract. And it just kind of seems like Russ is having a good time. They sent out the podium gate. They sent out Russ last night on his 37th birthday to talk about a 30-point loss, and Russ had a smirk, right? He's I'm not going to say he's along for the ride, but Russ is just enjoying playing basketball. So that, I don't know if that's where DeMar DeRozan is. I think they like playing with each other on the same team. They're both from LA, and we get all that. But DeMar, the goal was to get back to some semblance of competitive basketball. And you could argue it was more competitive in Chicago than it has been. I know they got to the play-in last season, but they got beat down in the play-in, and they're not headed towards the play-in right now. So realistically, and we have the the quotes from Sam Amick that we'll get into as well, as he was on the morning show and talked about the value or lack thereof with some of these guys. But realistically, and I could be wrong, this is just my opinion. This is not based on source information or anything like that. DeMar is the only one that I could see accelerating this thing out, just based on where he's at in his career. Domantas Sabonis, I don't see it happening. I think Domantas Sabonis likes the area. I think Domantas Sabonis would like to be here. Again, my opinion, would like to be here during some type of retool and be that. You got to start. Look, we talked about the Wizards and the Nets. Even in a rebuild, you got to start some veterans, right? And I think Domantas Sabonis would want to be that. That's how I feel about it. So, and I could be wrong, but the idea of, hey, get me now, if we talking about the Warriors and Kuminga, because he could still live in Napa at that point, be quite the drive, but he could do it, that might be a different conversation. And we talked about that with Brett Siegel. That's more so something that might come to fruition just in the rumor conversation at the end of the season. But look, man, I just don't see Domantas Sabonis. And when I watch, he had, the people all out for his wine and all that. I don't see Domantas Sabonis, 3 kiddos, saying, you know what, I got to, and at this point, I know a lot of families that have the NBA players, they'll stay, especially where they're at, especially as the kids get older. You know what? I need to get to Michigan. Get me to Detroit. I don't see it with Domantas Sabonis. I could be way off, but I do not see it with that man. Not right now.
I don't think I really see it with anybody, because I see this team, even though they may be in a funk, I see them as a bunch of grinders. I mean, I've definitely never known DeMar DeRozan to quit at anything. Definitely never known Sabonis to give up on anything. From what we know of Zach LaVine, he doesn't give up. Russ gonna grind it out. I mean, you still got a young core as well. I mean, again, the one person that still hasn't played a minute in the regular season is Keegan Murray. He just signed his extension. I don't see him moving. I mean, you got a couple of youngsters that I definitely feel can, if not already are, NBA players. You can say Keon Ellis, definitely Neat Clifford. Neat Clifford's going to find a way to grind it out. I mean, he's 12 games into his NBA career. Even Maxime Reynaud is 12 games into his NBA career. He's trying. As Doug said, he may not have the most talent, but he seems like he's a sponge. He's ready to learn and to fight through, push through, grind out, and make it better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't see this team quitting. Plus, I'm not in the camp of, oh, this season's already over because they're 3-9. Just because I understand this, what the schedule is, what it is. It's not going to change. It's there. All you got to do, regardless of who the team is, figure it out and win games. They can go in. They can beat Minnesota tomorrow night. They can find a way to beat San Antonio. I know it might be a tall task, but you can still go in, try to find a way to beat OKC. Memphis is there, who's in the tailspin, which they need to figure out a way to beat. And the last game on the road trip is Denver in Denver. The Kings may not have had the lead. Unfortunately, Denver led that game wire to wire, but they grinded in that game. They only lost by 6, and there were times in the game I think they were down by if not 2, 4 points late in that game. So they've showed fight. They've showed their mettle. They've showed their toughness. Just hopefully allow Doug Christie to impose his teachings, his thoughts, and hopefully it'll carry out starting tomorrow on that ugly-looking lime green highlighter court at the Red Dot.
Yeah, and what you're saying, Ramsey, that is a little bit of what Doug got into as well. Doug did mention the game that they played against the Thunder. I know, no Chet, but they played a tough one in OKC, and they looked good. The first time they played Denver, it was a closer matchup. They normally play Denver close, and even going up to that fourth quarter, they played Denver tough. They won in Milwaukee, and Milwaukee had been kind of rolling at that time. I think the reality is, look, the ask out thing, we can not just me and you, Ramsey, but all of us collectively can agree to disagree. I think that there is a level of, here's the thing, there is a level of trying to put the toys where you have the shapes, trying to put a square in a round peg, if you will, right? Or a peg and a round circle, whatever that saying is, okay?
Square peg, round hole.
There you go. So there is a feeling of that. That could either be full-blown asking out, or that could either be, hey, all right, we need to do something with the starting lineup or something in the rotation. But they can't keep doing this.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And to that point, I'm just looking at the schedule again.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the 3 home games that we had on this homestand that they completely had no shot, the only other game potentially you could look at, and it mainly was just because of one quarter, was the Bulls game in Chicago. Every other game, they've been competitive or found a way to win.
So, again, I'm not trying to patronize anyone. You know what I've been saying since the season started. Their ceiling is an 8 seed. That is my opinion. That is my opinion, that their ceiling is an 8 seed. I'm not trying to patronize anybody. What I am saying is that, fine, we don't want to, you can have the conversation about who might ask out, and maybe somebody will ask out. Only time will tell. But to Doug's point and to making a change, you cannot keep doing this. That's what I do know. So I don't know. I know everybody likes to say it's DeMar. I don't know if it's DeMar. I don't know who it is, right? Maybe it's Levine. I know it's tough with Levine because you need that 3-point shooting. I don't know. Maybe it's not the starters, and maybe it's quicker rotations, the Dennis Schroeder thing as well. All I know is ask out, whatever it is, you can't keep doing this. So as long as you keep doing this, I do think we have a large enough sample size. And Dennis Schroeder, 9 points. He was trying to get it popping early in the game, but 9 points, 26 minutes. Something has to change with what they're doing. Fine. You have we can segment this all out. It can be the conversation when it comes to who might ask out, right? My thought process is that the DeMar DeRozan thing, I guess a dark horse in that conversation could be Malik Monk, but we know Malik, he just had the kiddo. He loves Sacramento, so I don't think it would be Malik, even though Malik was dangled in trade talks. And we're just talking about rotation pieces. I mean, Devin might want to leave, but that's not how it works with guys in Devin's situation. So we can talk about who might ask out, and only time will tell. The only person that I feel not confident, but the person that I would be willing to put a chip on, right, based on the fun that we're about to have tomorrow night, me and the missus, would be DeMar DeRozan, because you have 2 other guys with Sabonis had a kid over the summer. Okay, another kid over the summer. Zach LaVine had a kid during the previous season, and we know how much these guys say they do not like getting traded during the regular season. Everybody hates, or during the season, they hate mid-season trades. So those 2 guys, to me, Zach LaVine just got moved. Okay, I don't know that he wants to move again. He likes Doug. I already talked about Sabonis and his setup. So it's almost by default, it would be DeMar DeRozan. And those are the only 3 guys that I think have the cachet to say it. But even if DeMar doesn't, and as Ramsey says, he's trying to grind it out. I guess you could throw Westbrook's name in there, but what his value is incredibly confusing. Even if DeMar wants to grind it out, you can't keep doing this. You cannot keep doing this because it's not working. You got to find a way, as the text line said, if you're not big enough, then just find a guy and let Maxime figure it out or not figure it out. But you can't let these guys just continue to rebound, get so many second chance opportunities because they're just bigger. They're just big like that. When it just comes, these are facts, right? I'm going to this concert, and y'all gonna laugh at me. Okay, as they got out-rebounded 45-35. 10 more rebounds. Y'all going to laugh at me.
33-8 fast break points that Doug kept reiterating through the press conference last night.
When we go to concerts, okay, and I think I've aged out of the standing room thing, but at my stature, okay, me and the wifey, standing room it's a grind. We got cash out. We got to be in the seats up top. We cannot do the standing room thing. Now, there's no manipulation, all right, of a situation to say, hey, we can make standing. If we find a nice little corner, but then again, some 6'4" dude can just come stand in front of us as G-Eazy or whoever's about to play, and now we can't see no more. So that's just reality. You can't run lineups that are that much smaller than the other lineups and expect to win basketball games, especially when you don't. If you had 4 snipers out there, then maybe you'd have a better shot. But you don't have 4 snipers out there. You don't have 4. I don't know if you got 4 snipers on the team. So that's a problem. And there's a level of, and I don't know if the fix is on the roster, but you do have some bigger dudes on the roster that you could at least fall back on and say, let's just see what you can do. That's why they're running Precious out there. We know, Dylan, there's only so many games. You got the G League going as well. But you have to try something different. Maybe I'm getting too caught up on this size thing because the Hawks were huge, and we saw it before with all these teams were going up. We talked about it against the Bucks, but they actually beat the Bucks team. But there has to be something that you do differently, even if we're not talking about moving on and somebody asking out. Will we see you'll kick off the next segment as we keep the conversation going. More of your calls, more of your texts, more of your sack chat. And how safe is Doug Christie? Sam Amick has some things to say about it. We'll get into that as well. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
The mildest summer in 30 years has left AC makers with overstock and far below their sales targets. Your chance for huge savings. Sierra Pacific's partnership with top manufacturers mean exclusive discounts to clear inventory fast. Get premium systems installed flawlessly by friendly pros with ironclad warranties and great discounts with SMUD rebates. Plus, HVAC's tax credits expire December 31st. Call for your complimentary proposal. Visit SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
On Sactown Sports.
A little G-Eazy for you. And Ramsey, I forgot to say this on the air when we were talking about G-Eazy in the crosstalk, and I'm saying it because it's our wifey and I's first night out tomorrow night. We're really seeing Ty Dolla $ign, but G-Eazy going to be there. No disrespect. My Bay Area guy, no disrespect. And Carmichael Dave kept on saying Jeezy, and we said, hey, there's a dash, and then somebody on the text line, I didn't even think about this, somebody on the text line said, is Dave confusing G-Eazy and Young Jeezy?
He could have been.
Is definitely what was happening.
He could have been confusing Jeezy with Jeezy. I mean,
that's exactly what was happening.
From Dave, I would expect that. You and I know we don't get that pass.
No, that's exactly what was happening.
Jeezy, Bay Area, Vallejo, Oakland, stand up. Jeezy is from that city that the Kings just played, ATL.
Yeah, but no, I meant to read that text because I didn't think about it like that, even though we were slapping some Jeezy last week. But yeah, is Dave confusing G-Eazy and Jeezy from the 916 during crosstalk? That you are spot on. That's exactly what was happening, in my opinion. 916-339-1140. All right, let's get to Will, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Will? What you got for us?
What's up, man? You know me and you go round and round. But Ramsey, are you a new guy on the show? Yeah, you his new counterpart?
Ramsey's filling in because Kyle's on the morning show right now. So Ramsey's in for the rest of the week. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Ramsey, I know you're going to co-sign this, man, because me and Allen we be going. I love the brother. I love Allen, but Allen wanted to throw everybody off the squad the third week of the season, man. Here's the deal. You remember when the Kings played Dallas in the play-in last year?
I do.
And they got ran, and everybody, Domas got dunked on 5 or 6 times by everybody.
Yes.
Look, we've been saying this for 3 years. The Kings need length and athleticism. They don't need a center who can score. They just need a center who can foul somebody, who can bang down there. We too small. We're too small. And then the Schroeder thing, it's going to turn out to be a bust. They paid this guy all this money, and then it's just the problem is we don't have size, and then we're probably the worst pick and roll defensive team in the NBA. Guys, they look. People be going by guys. They turn around and look and say, "What?" And Doug and Bobby's supposed to be defensive stars. Help me, Ramsey. Help me.
No, but hold on,
What?
Will. But Will, I'm confused. You just said Allen is trying to get rid of the team 3 weeks in, but you said nothing positive about the team. I'm confused.
And Will, I got one thing to ask.
What I'm saying is, and Ramsey, you jump in. What I'm saying is, Allen, you didn't give him a shot day one. You hated the Westbrook thing. I wish we had 3 more Westbrooks. He played harder than anybody on the team. He's more exciting. If he wasn't on the team, it would be so boring to watch. I mean, that's Ramsey, jump in, man.
I got one thing for you, Will. I gotta ask you. Yeah. Your man KD, Kyle Draper. You know he's a Schroeder fan.
Oh, yeah, he was.
How you gonna address that, sir?
Hey, he was for Schroeder. Hey, look, we all knew that. I didn't think it made any sense. But you know, Allen wanted Kuminga here really bad. He wanted to get rid of anybody. But here's the thing, man. We don't have size. Look, Atlanta's not all that talented, but they athletic.
Yeah.
They got size. I mean, we look bad because we can't compete, athletically. And then Domas, if he's hurt, he shouldn't be out there.
I hear you, Will.
You know, let Eubank play. I mean, the thing is, I love you, Allen. I love you, man. But look, think if we didn't have Westbrook. Think if Westbrook wasn't out there.
I hear you, Will. I hear you. Thanks for the call. That was a fun one. Thanks for the call. Will, my whole thing with Westbrook, it was just the log jam situation. I don't have a problem with Russell Westbrook. I don't have a problem with Russell Westbrook. It was the log jam and the minutes he's taken away. Now, I understand you don't really care about the minutes that he's taken away if you believe you are going to put yourself in a position to contend this season. So I get that. I didn't know if that was going to be enough for them to contend. And right now, it hasn't been. But I don't got a problem with Westbrook. And I know he's the only, I don't want to say the only, but we know that you don't have to question Westbrook's dog. We know you don't have to question Westbrook's dog. I'm looking at it from a perspective of, okay, well, that's going to be time that Keon's not getting. That's going to be time that maybe even Anik Clifford's not getting, and to a lesser degree, Devin Carter. That's how I'm looking at it. But Westbrook as a talent, now, I don't know that I thought Westbrook would be this good, specifically shooting the 3-ball, okay? But I don't know that anybody did. So I hear you. I hear you what you're saying, Will. And I do wish, mentality-wise, I do wish that the Kings had 3 Westbrooks on the team. I do. Because I don't know that they get ran like this for 4 games straight if they did. And that's the good part about having Westbrook on the team, if this season is shot anyway, to at least instill some of that. And maybe that's what, honestly, maybe that's what Scott Perry was thinking. Look, I don't know if we're going to win more games with Westbrook, but he's going to give us some moments, and he's going to instill that dog. I've seen him talk to Anik Clifford. I've seen him talk to Maxime Reynaud. I've seen him talk to a bunch of the young guys. So I hear you, Will. That was fun. And the Kuminga thing, you know what? I'm going to get in trouble because I can't say the W word on the air, okay, because people get upset when I say the W word. But that team down 80, okay, the Kuminga thing, look, Kuminga watch is still going to happen, whether y'all like it or not, okay? Because, look, Kuminga watch will go away. How about this? How about a deal? Kuminga watch will cool off when the Kings, wait for it, start winning basketball games. When the Kings start winning basketball games, I don't got to talk about Kuminga. When the Kings start winning basketball games, I don't got to talk about Ja Morant. If they're not winning basketball games, I mean, there are some people that thrive on just bagging on the Kings all day long, but that's not me. I like to give people different opportunities. I like to give people different angles as to what may or may not be going on in the 916 and the 916 surrounding areas. That's where I'm at with all this. But I hear you, Will. That was a lot of fun, man.
Will gonna Will.
Will gonna Will. And you never know. I don't know if I'm going to get yelled at. Sometimes, oh, no, I'm in trouble again. I wasn't really in trouble that time. So,
like I said, Will gonna Will, we going to let Will rock.
Exactly. He always can, 916-339-1140. And when you kind of break down who this team is and who this team was supposed to be, I do think we are getting closer to a situation where we have to figure out what our expectations are for Doug Christie specifically. Because in a lost season, and I'm not saying this is what it's going to be, but in a season that may be lost, you can still find certain things, right? You can still say, hey, well, we were able to do this. Look at the A's, right? Nick Kurt, it was a lost season in that they didn't go to the playoffs or anything like that. But you have your shortstop of the future. Well, you have your infielder of the future because the A's did make a move for a super stud shortstop, but you have a middle infielder of your future with Jacob Wilson. You have your first baseman if you want, and not to make an A's joke, but if you want, you have your shortstop middle infielder of the future.
I'd refer middle infielder because I potentially could see Jacob Wilson shifting.
Sure, that's what I'm saying.
Because they have another infielder that. And we'll talk about this in the 1 o'clock hour with Manolo Hernandez to win. He and I have been on the same page. Their shortstop of the future may not be Jacob Wilson. It may be someone else by the name of Daryl Hernaiz.
They got a couple. Because I wasn't even thinking of that one. I was thinking of Leo DeVries, who they got in the Mason Miller deal. Then you have Nick Kurtz, right? So bad season, who could be your first baseman if you want A's for the next 15 years, whatever you want, with these crazy Major League Baseball deals. So kind of a lost season, but you have things that you can build upon. So as we look at Doug, what things can Doug Christie build upon if this season, in fact, does become lost and somebody asks out and they make some trades, whatever it is? How can we evaluate Doug properly? Let's talk about it on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening for the Black Friday sales event?
We have the best savings yet on new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cabs, starting at only $34,995 with up to $12,500 off MSRP. Or save thousands with $5,250 off MSRP and 0% financing for 72 months.
And did I hear you got the Hemi back?
Yep, we have 450 new Rams available, including the 5.7-liter Hemi, and we have 40 Hemis in stock. Plus, with our award-winning customer service, you won't find a better combination of selection, service, and savings than at Hoblet Dodge.
Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$12,500 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 after $7,250 factory rebates and $5,250 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 select inventory cash, $500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit, $34,995 net price after rebates. VIN number 170493. 0% financing for well-qualified buyers on approved credit through Stellantis Financial. Must have 720 plus FICO score. $13.89 per thousand borrowed. See dealer for details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas
in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's Black Friday sale time at Big O Tires. Get the tires you want for less. Michelin, BF Goodrich, Pirelli, and more. Plus, buy 3 get 1 free on Big O branded tires. Hurry, sale ends December 7th. Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not good with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Couple updates here. Your opportunity, be the first to win a pair of tickets to see comedian Matt Rife bring his newly announced Stay Golden World Tour to Golden One Center on October 11, 2026. That is at 1 o'clock. We've been doing it all week. You got 2 more chances, and the phone lines have been hot. Okay, I'm going to pick the number today since Ramsey picked it yesterday, and Jay Woods picked it on Tuesday, and Kyle picked it on Monday. So I'm picking the lucky number today. So if you win, you can say thank you to Alan. If you don't win, you can say, Alan, this is all your fault. So that's coming up at 1 o'clock in 15 minutes. Man, oh man. It's going to be quite the Kings roundtable with our guys. I believe we'll be fully loaded. Frank Cardicelli, as he is, one of the head honchos out here, he might be a little tardy, but we're going to have our guys, Brendan and Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez, to break everything down for you based on what they're hearing and, of course, just how they feel, right? How they feel when it comes to the Kings, and last night they were in the building, of course, and how that Doug situation unfolded, and 2 nights in a row, and the emotional toll, to be honest with you, as far as what Doug put on the table 2 nights ago, and then last night in the postgame. And one more for you for the baseball fans out there. This is from Francis Romero as the GM meetings are going on right now. He is a reporter. Also, he is on the BBWAA. He's a member of that, along with a ton of others, and more specifically, our guy Manolo Hernandez-Duen, who we're going to talk to at 1 p.m., and Francis says, hearing from the GM meetings that the reliever market could start moving in the next few hours. So it's not the same as the NFL or the NBA when free agency opens up. A bunch of stuff isn't already pre-cooked and ready to go. You have qualifying offers and things that can get decided before things blow up. So free agency has been open. We're just kind of waiting for some of the dominoes to start falling. So hearing from the GM meetings that the reliever market could start moving in the next few hours with big names such as Edwin Diaz, Devin Williams, Robert Suarez, and Ryan Hensley. And Edwin Diaz, as well as Devin Williams, both have been connected to the Giants. Obviously, when it comes to the A's, they need starting pitching, but specifically they need pitching, period. But specifically for the relievers, Francis is saying the reliever market might start moving today. So we will keep an eye on that, and maybe something will move, or something could move before we have on Manolo Hernandez-Duen, as the MVPs will be announced today as well. So wanted to get those updates for you, and kind of start that process. Look, I was re-listening to Sam Amick on the morning show, okay? And what he had to say about Doug Christie. And it was pretty interesting because Sam was honestly coming at it, I think, from more of a mental health standpoint and just an emotional toll standpoint, because 2 nights in a row, Doug, I got my buddies texting me, right? Allen, what's going on in Sacramento? Because everybody has kind of aggregated what Doug said and reposted it and is speaking on it from 2 nights ago, right? The pregame presser. Then last night, he is coming at the team and talking about what the team isn't doing. And that's a lot, man. That's a lot in a couple days. Look, I know as the saying goes, all money ain't good money, and I'm not saying that's the case because there's only so many of these jobs, and Doug had to take it. He wanted to take it. It's his dream job, and he had to take it. But you know what it reminds me of? And again, we have Ramsey back here, but it reminds me of, instead of Kyle, and I only say that because Kyle is, Kyle doesn't know a lot of these movies, but it reminds me of the movie, we've talked about it before, with Brendan Fraser with Bedeviled, right?
You act like I know movies.
Okay, well,
I don't watch movies.
I'm just saying that, it's a better chance, or is it, I think Bedazzled. So
whatever that is.
Basically, all right, so no, I got to get Chris Berlot to fill in one of these days because nobody here ever knows my movie references.
I mean, I think he watches movies.
Okay, fair enough.
I tell people this all the time. I don't watch movies.
Okay.
If there's entertainment, I do watch the challenge. I have watched the challenge, though.
Thank you, Ramsey.
So I knew what that was when you were talking about it with Dave and Jason Ross on the crossover crosstalk earlier this morning.
Somebody knows what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, that's the main point. And the bottom line is that these genies or these whoever's you want to call them, when you make wishes, but they're not detailed enough, right? Or it's a double entendre, whatever it is. Hey, I wish I was this, or I wish I was that, and you get the wish, but it's not exactly. There are not enough details in the wish. So when you think about a dream job with Doug, you're going to get your dream job, but it's going to be in a pretty rough situation. You would still take it. And Doug had to take it. And now we're looking at what he's doing. And when I was listening to Sam Amick said that maybe Doug is going to have to move away from this approach of, if you play like that, you can't play in Sacramento. And I guess right now the approach of, I am the city, I know what the city deserves, and kind of lean more so into the smaller victories, the tiny victories, if you will. And I love Sam Amick. We talk all the time. I would say this, though. It's hard to find those tiny. It's easy for Jordy Fernandez to do that on a team that's tanking, right? You're running out DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook. He didn't start, but you're running out DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, guys that are making a ton of money. I don't know that it would go over much better if you're talking about, our big money players ain't doing squat, but hey, Nick Clifford looked good, right? We're doing some good things, right? I think that these last 2 nights have been a specific case of Doug being put in a tough spot. Now, I don't know that he had to speak on what he had to speak on 2 nights ago, but Doug felt like he needed to speak on that. But last night specifically, when you get your butt whooped like that, you can't, Sam, he's got to get a bone here, right? If Doug went out there after they get smacked again, fourth straight loss, and is talking about, hey, Keon had 20, right? People would say, well, what the hell are we talking about? So I hear where Sam is coming from holistically, and maybe that's what Sam is saying. He just needs, he can't continue to do that, but they also can't continue to lose like that. Because if they continue to lose like that, I think a lot of things might be on the table right now that aren't currently on the table. But number 2, you can't talk about tiny victories when you're getting your butt whooped like that. Nobody wants to hear it. So now I get it. If Doug every day, we heard it with Mike Brown. the accountability stuff came out too much, and then it turns into, hey, well, maybe they just aren't buying in, or maybe they're just not understanding what the situation was. Mike would say, I'm telling them what to do, and they're not doing it, right? Doug is kind of in a similar situation. Doug isn't really getting into the X's and O's. Doug is saying, damn the X's and O's. What do I got to talk about the X's and O's for? They're not putting forth the effort. So we don't need to talk about X's and O's. Mike was trying to argue, hey, well, I told them no threes, and then Jaden Ivey took a three. Doug is saying, we're not even getting there. We getting blown out. So if they don't have a level of pride when they put on the jersey, then we can't even have a conversation about X's and O's. Now, it will start to fall on deaf ears with the media, with fans. I think it has already with others, right? But at the same time, you have to be able to put yourself in a situation. You have to be able to speak on other things, and I don't think yesterday would have been appropriate. Now, Sam is saying moving forward, but you got to give them little victories to take from. And he did say, hey, we played well against some of these better teams, but I don't think yesterday was appropriate to talk about anything positive. I think it just would have annoyed more people. That's how I feel about it. I hear what Sam is saying also, and go check that out on YouTube. It's doing good numbers already. It always does, because Sam has all this information with Carmichael, Dave, Jason Ross. That's on YouTube and on the Sactown Sports app. But Sam also said, look, the reality is Doug is not making a lot of money. They can move on from him if they wanted to, but who is going to fix this, right? What would be the point, especially if, from Dave's perspective and what Dave said, especially if Dave is, discussing or reporting, non-reporting that this thing has a timeline anyway, why would you bring somebody in for a team that's not going to exist? If you think you bring in a team, if you think the team is, you bring in somebody new if you think the team is underperforming. This team is underperforming, but even if it were performing properly, we ain't talking about a parade at Doco, at least not yet. But it's still early. Hey, Kobe 3-peat, that random Pelicans team, and LeBron and AD. The fourth team could be the misfit toys of Sacramento, your 2025-2026 Sacramento Kings. The roundtable starts on the other side. You know that you need to get your butt seated. If you're in the car, crank that thing up. If you are listening on the app, you know that it's moving smooth and you can see everybody's pretty faces. If you're on YouTube and you were running around, be sure to be locked in. You're not going to want to miss, as these guys are in the building, just like Ramsey, to get the feel on what the hell is going on these last two nights and where the hell the Kings are going. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings
on the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Set it free! Welcome to the Running Man.
In the future, one man must run or die. Glenn Powell stars in The Running Man, the IMAX experience, playing at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento. Get pulled into the madness of the Esquire IMAX 6-story screen as the chaos unfolds. Reserve your seat before the clock runs out at IMAX.com/Sacramento. The Running Man, playing now through November 20th at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents it's local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
Savings abound at Elk Grove Honda during the Honda clearance event underway now. This is your final chance to drive home in a new 2025 Honda Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline at Elk Grove Honda clearance prices. Right now is the right time to save, and if you're looking for pre-owned Hondas, Elk Grove Honda has a huge inventory. Visit the Elk Grove Honda 2025 Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline clearance sale at Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco!
Sactown Sports 1140.
Shoot till the sun come up. Tackle. You're home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
We are back, and it is time for some roundtable action. And we're fully loaded today, okay? We are fully loaded. And just like Domantas Sabonis gutting it out when, I guess maybe he shouldn't have, but he did. Brendan Nunez, I don't know what the camera looks like, but Brendan, you put me in a tough spot, my guy. But you know what? On a day like today, some comedic relief, unfortunately, at your expense. We're just gonna have to take it. So you look like Will Smith on Hitch.
Yeah, I still need to look this up. I've seen the movie. I
you
just
guys
don't
are
remember
killing me
the
with this
scene.
movie stuff.
I've seen a lot.
I've seen the movie. I just don't remember. I don't remember the scene.
Frank, you ever seen Bedazzled?
Okay, well now you lost me.
Gosh.
I've seen Hitch though.
Okay, so Brendan, you're fine. You just are
my
allergic
eyes
to kitties.
are real red. Yes, I have a cat allergy. They got way worse over the course of my life.
Okay.
So I already grew to love cats, and then I learned later that I just can't do this.
They don't love
They
you.
got a good look of my eyes on the cam, it looks like. So where I live, there's a cat that comes to my door and cries to be let in there.
Yeah, they do that.
And make me feel bad because people are like, well, they don't know that you're allergic.
And then last night was the night where you said,
I said screw it, and I let the cat in the room for a while, and my eyes have been watering nonstop.
You know what and I blame the Kings.
Yeah, exactly.
You needed some type of support.
Exactly.
After the Kings, and now
I was thinking he wanted his eyes shut.
Well, I was going to say now you would have been better off. You would have been better off doing it before the game, so you wouldn't have to watch that.
It's true.
Ridiculous embarrassment of a AAU. I've seen, back in my day, I don't know if I was good enough for AAU, but MVP Flight, and you ever come up against a team, that just is on another level. You know what I mean? They got kids dunking in 8th grade. That's what's going on with the Kings right now. I said last night that this reminds me when I used to go to the YMCA in Embarcadero. And, you never know who's going to be in the gym, right? Now, in the summer, when the college dudes come home and they want to hoop, it's a tough go, guys.
Right, that's how
it
feels like when you're on JV and you'd have like that 1 or 2 scrimmages during like preseason with the varsity team, and it's like, oh, okay, like we're trying to run our stuff here, but like everything we're running just like gets stopped at the line, and then the varsity team is just laying it up at the rim, and you're like, I mean, coach, what am I supposed to do here?
No.
Like these guys are, 3 years older than me.
They're in slides. They're not even in sneakers.
Crazy.
And that's how it felt, guys, because, look, in those situations, right, me and my buddies, we would battle. We would scrap. Maybe we win 1 out of 5, 7 games. But these
you might
dudes,
not win the game, but you're going to win the fight.
Well,
right?
I'm going to fight. But these dudes have a separate set of tools that this Kings team doesn't have when it comes to size, length, athleticism. With all that being said, Doug didn't have to talk about any of that. He didn't have a chance to get to any of that because the effort wasn't there. Doesn't matter if all the things that I just said are true, the effort wasn't there. You guys in the building the last couple nights, Sam Amick talked about, look, man, at some point there's just an emotional toll that starts happening. We're on game 12, right? They're 3-9. Brendan, let's start with you. These last couple nights from the fakers and the haters and the shot makers and the debaters and the whatever, the Raiders, I don't know, to last night, again, with I want to suit up at 55. What has happened the last 2 nights in that press room?
I mean, they are losing games, and they are losing in very, very embarrassing fashion to the point where, like, centers are just walking to the rim. This is prior to last night. Like, Chris and I were talking about this. Jalen Johnson's practically the center of that team, for all intents and purposes. He's the one attacking the basket. You have Rudy Gobert putting up damn near 20. Isaiah Hartenstein had the night of his life because the defense is horrible for the Sacramento Kings, just to be blunt. Like, the points in the paint have been really bad these last few games, and their pick and roll defense, they're just kind of backing up while defending guys until the point where they're pretty much under the basket, and guys are just getting easy layups. And from Doug Christie's side, he's been preaching a defensive orientation since the beginning of training camp. He's a defensive guy. He's a 3-time all-defensive player during his career. Like, I'm sure that that's where he wants to make the mark on this team. They obviously don't have the personnel for it, but it feels like all this frustration is coming out because he wanted to have that strength. And at very least, we don't have the talent, but if we try our butts off every single night, then we can reach a certain threshold, and they have done the polar opposite of that. And it almost feels like, it was just really embarrassing effort last night to the point where Doug hockey subs the entire starters in that third quarter.
Yeah, that's the whole thing for me, where it's the big guys doing their thing, and I know Sabonis is out there, whether he should be or not with the rib is a different conversation, but the big guys balling for me, there's a level of, all right, certain things they can't fix when it comes to the length and all of that. But if you eliminated that and then you said, hey, with even the guard defense and the guard rotations, all of that also isn't good. Is that the frustration, Chris, where it's, look, I know there's some things we're going to have to give up, but we're not even close on the things that I feel, I'm talking as Doug, that we could be doing correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to kind of figure it out because it feels like I think the frustration for Doug is that he just still believes that the defense can be better, but and he's just willing to really die on that hill. Like, I think he again, like he continues to say, and he said it the other night after that weird, intro press conference, or the pregame press conference. It was strange.
Definitely weird.
Yeah, when your coach just gives a prepared statement and then doesn't take questions after in the pregame, that's strange. And then after the game, I think it was Chris Biederman asked him about offense, and he, pretty much was like, or didn't even ask him specifically about offense, asked him about Dennis Schroeder's offense, and, then Doug pretty much says, we don't need to talk about offense at all. Like, our offense is fine. We have great offensive players. It's the defensive end that really is the only thing that matters. I'm pretty much just, I I think that really Doug's frustration is that he knows this team isn't going to be a top 5 defense, but it's kind of the same conversation we've been having these past couple of years with Mike Brown. I think he just wants them to get to a mid-level, and I think they just both, Mike Brown and Doug Christie, both have felt like, the offense is it really just doesn't matter because they have the offensive talent to do it. They're not going to go anywhere at any point until they play defensively. I think the problem is he might have overestimated how baseline this defense can even be because the personnel just isn't there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's everyone has played. Every combination of players has been thrown out there, it feels like, in just 12 games. And
not Dario.
Except for Dario Saric. Dario Saric is the only option we haven't seen. And it just feels like there's no difference really in terms of like the fundamental core problem of rim protection. I mean, people can say Keon Ellis, great defender. We have all seen Keon Ellis at multiple points here get blown by. Like he is human as well, but like he is not a perfect defender. He's not the reason why the Kings defense sucks. So I don't know. I think if your real question is, what is really the thing that is getting underneath Doug's skin the most? I think it's that he actually really believed that this defense could be solid. It's just that it's really not. It's like the worst in the NBA.
But I don't even get how, and no offense to I mean, Doug is a 4-time all NBA defensive, threat. I don't know how you can look at this roster though and feel confident in them. And it's really, like you said, Chris, it's personnel. And Keegan Murray returning, that's going to help, no doubt, from a rebounding standpoint, from a 3-point shooting standpoint. But he's arguably their best defender, can defend positions 3 through 5. But I just don't know he can look there in the post-game speech last night. Sure, that'll fire up some people. Maybe the players can respond. Maybe they'll respond negatively. I don't know. We're going to find out. But you can bang your fist on the table and have post-game press conferences, calling out effort, what have you. Nothing's going to change until they have better players that can just simply play defense. And they don't have players who can play defense. They have 2 really that are, I would say, plus defenders, Keon and Keegan. The rest you're hoping for career years on the defensive end. Dennis Schroeder, he can bring some intensity. I wouldn't say he's a stopper. I wouldn't say he's someone that you expect to see at the top of the league, even deflections per game. He can take a charge.
Who's better defender? I just want it for context.
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder or De'Aaron Fox?
De'Aaron Fox. Okay. I think De'Aaron Fox is a better defender. I think he got a lot of – I think Fox – and I think a lot of Kings fans maybe were groaning at that, but I think when De'Aaron Fox was locked in the last 1.5 to 2 years, I mean, he was tied for the NBA lead in steals and steals per game, I think, year before last year or last year? So – I think it's personnel. I think that going back to Doug and what he's expecting from the defense, that's natural for a defensive-minded person. That's natural for someone who wants the most out of their players. But I'm looking at their rankings and everything across the board. I mean, defense alone, even if you want to change the subject about, okay, well, if you're not going to play good defense, at least play well on offense. They are 28th in 3-point field goal attempts, 25th in makes. They're 25th in free throw attempts. They're 24th in makes. They are 3rd in 2-point field goal attempts. They live in the mid-range. I think Brendan highlighted that the other day. They live in the mid-range. They are a mid-range heavy team that cannot defend. They don't get out in the break. They don't make you pay. They got beat 33-8 on fast break points last night. They're sloppy all over the board. So I look at last night's speech from Doug and say that's really cool, and I get it. And I think a lot of Kings fans can relate to that because Doug, what he said is true. He truly cares about the city of Sacramento. He truly cares about the fan base. He's not a coach that's just, oh, man, Sacramento had an opening. I'm just going to take it. It's my first stop. No, this guy's been here for 20-plus years. Yeah. And he's been through every situation you can think of. He sat in this seat that we're sitting in right now. So I totally believe him. But nothing is going to change until they get players in who are capable of doing that. And to that, I look at Doug and say, I don't think it's his fault. We can all look at rotations and say things could be different. You could always play Keon more. You could try different things. You could play Raynaud a little more. You could play Neat Clifford 30 minutes. You could change the starting lineup. But you don't have guys that can defend the positions that hurt you the most, which is the forwards, the 6'8", 6'9" guys and above that are just dominating the Kings every night. So I just look at it, Doug, and say, might want to get a couple more speeches ready until some moves are made.
Well, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I do think that kind of does make me realize, like, maybe that's the frustration that Doug feels. I mean, you kind of, like, it was funny him saying, I want to suit up at 55, but I think that's really where his frustration might really lie from, is that he looks at this, and we heard how passionate he is about the Kings and wanting to get this thing going and, talking about, we won't have that as a Sacramento King and really caring about what the identity of that brand means. And I think the thing that is so frustrating is that he legitimately does feel all of those things, and he doesn't feel like the players are reciprocating that at all. And I think it's why in the preseason we talked a lot about why this team would probably be a much better young team. Like Doug is much better for a young group, because I think these messages that we're hearing really resonate with young guys. And he even said, I'm going to text the young guys personally last night, and tell them like that's not acceptable. That's not an acceptable standard at all. And so I kind of think that the frustration for Doug might be, I feel like I'm saying all of the right things. I'm game planning all of the right things, but there's only so much I can do. I wish I could literally suit up and go out there and do things myself. But these veterans who should be doing what I'm saying just aren't following what I want them to do. And it's something that even Russ backed up yesterday. Russ blatantly said, this isn't on Doug. This is on us. There's only so much he can do. He can game plan, but we're the ones going out there.
I wonder if Coach Doug Christie would play player Doug Christie.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Bro, come on.
I mean, I think so.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Just saying, Keon.
I mean, I think.
Okay,
hold on. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Man, I was like, this is.
I know that Doug's another level. I'm mainly joking.
Okay. Well, look, I think the tough part is when Doug is having these speeches, and this is what kind of Sam Amick spoke to, is this whole kind of pride mantra. The problem is Doug can't say, I don't have the pieces. We've been talking about the ingredients in the fridge for 3 years now. We did the same thing with Mike Brown. Doug can't say that. Doug has to make this team as good as it can be, right? And the expectation, we talked about it, the difference between Jordy with the Nets and a team that's literally tanking to a team like the Kings, where I think they thought they were going to win. We don't know if Scott Perry has a secret plan. The Dave stuff, we don't really know. But to that point, it's kind of turning into, and I got, I'm going on a nice dinner yesterday. I go see Ty Dolla $ign. I keep telling people. Ooh. So I got steak on my mind. I got the ribeye, medium plus. It's kind of like cutting a steak with a spoon. Like that is what Doug is attempting to do. And if you get in there, eventually you can get a little something, but it's not going to be easy. And that's where this whole thing is. Chris, you brought up a good point.
Thank you.
Because I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and the approach that I had to it was we want to talk about vets. Uh-huh. And when the Kings went to Chicago and lost, something triggered me when Zach LaVine was talking to the Chicago media, and it was almost a mini homecoming. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really pay a ton of attention to Zach LaVine in Chicago. He was hurt a lot. I didn't really know. But Zach LaVine was really passionate when he was out there. And he was talking about how he became a man out there and how he raised a family out there. And it resonated with me because of what you're saying, Chris, and this whole Doug pride thing. And this is what I said on that day. You got a bunch of assassins. All of these veterans, none of them are ever going to call Sacramento home.
Right. Very mercenary.
So I do think that there is a disconnect between Doug saying you should bleed purple and black or whatever, and Beam, and they don't.
Well, none of these guys were drafted by this organization either. De'Aaron Fox was the only one, and that he's the only one who you can really say gave any sort of damn about.
You can say Sabonis, and you can say Malik. Definitely Malik.
Maybe they were on their way, but I think things have changed now.
You don't have to say. I'll give Malik credit for sure. Yeah. Malik's done a good job of actually connecting with the community. I haven't seen DeMar DeRozan, say a single thing.
I don't need you to. You don't have to be drafted, right? It's just about. I think it is about your age and what's
buying
left,
in.
What's left in your career.
Tyrese Halliburton did that.
Exactly.
He wanted to be a part of the culture shift. He was he was wearing the Jason Williams shirts and the Doug Christie jerseys.
Right. So we got Doug saying pride, Sacramento, this is what I do, all the Doug isms that we have. Meanwhile, you're starting Zach LaVine, who he's already said he's got his home. Right. Chicago's his home. Right. It will never be Sacramento.
Or LA,
Or LA. Yeah. It ain't, or up north. It ain't Sacramento. DeMar DeRozan, I know they like to keep saying he's home, even though he's 6 hours away, depending on who's driving. But DeMar DeRozan ain't home. I don't know. I don't know where DeMar DeRozan is. It Toronto? I don't know.
It is not Toronto.
It is not Sacramento. It is not Sacramento. We know it ain't Westbrook. That's OKC. Right. I'm pretty sure it's OKC. So those or LA.
All these guys
right.
are LA.
So you got 3 of those guys right here.
A lot of these guys are here because it's close to their actual
45
home.
minutes.
Right?
Exactly.
It's the Sacramento old pitch, right?
Exactly.
It's 30 minutes from Tahoe or whatever.
Dennis Schroeder, he's a nomad, right? He's just, I don't know, Atlanta? I don't know. I don't know.
It's
Go
hard
ahead,
to
Brendan.
sell these players, though, on like a, hey, let's be part of the team that turns this around when all we're talking about, and I'm sure they are very well aware, is that, well, everything comes off the book in 2 years. Like, Doug is talking from the perspective of eventually we want to change everything here. The players...
But Doug's not saying... Doug is saying right now. I mean, if they figured it out, we know them playoff T-shirts, some playoff revenue, we know they would say, all right, let's rock and roll with them. So if they... And I don't want to say care because, look, they don't got the requisite pieces defensively, but if they balled out, the plans would change.
But what core has remained intact longer than 3 years where they can have that chance to be... I mean, I think we all thought at the end of 2022, 2023, the Beam Team year, that these guys are going to be here. This is going to be... These are the staples. Fox is going to be here. Sabonis is going to be here. Kevin Huerter's been playing well. Malik Monk is a fan favorite.
Yeah.
All these guys are going to be here for the next half decade, right?
Yeah.
No.
I was on my way. I came from the Bay. I'm like, hey, we got the Beam out here.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
The last time I think Sam was on this morning. Sam Amick was on, and great segment. You guys should go check it out if you haven't. SacramentoSports.com.
I've already plugged. I've already plugged.
But he had a good point, and we talk about it all the time.
Check it out tonight.
Is this area too nostalgic, and the Kings organization as a whole too
Yes.
nostalgic about the early 2000s team? Yes, but at the same time, and I kind of thought, that was the last time they kept a core together for longer than 2-3 years. They rode it till the wheels fell off, and they did. They rode it from 1998 to 2006, and they made the playoffs every time. The Beam Team Kings, year and a half, 2 years, tore it down. So if you want to have that kind of mentality, and I get what Doug's putting out there, he wants guys to bleed purple, be a part of it, feel it. You're not going to feel it when you're 5-24, which is what they're on track to do. No one's going to want to buy in. These guys are going to be on the way out of here in a few months if this continues. So to get to that point, Doug, the fan base, everyone as a whole, which I hate the word patience regarding this, but it's going to take more patience because if you want to have players, if Anik Clifford's going to be great and be a 20-point scorer, if that's like his ceiling. We were talking last night, Chris and I, about, man, I wonder what his ceiling's going to be. If he could be an 18, 20-point per game scorer someday, it's going to take a little bit. If you want Devin Carter to pan out, which it doesn't seem like he's someone that, maybe he's going to be here a long time, but just the example is having those players that are going to be around for the long haul where you can kind of mold them into becoming a part of that culture that Doug wants to build, not guys that are in their prime or past their prime that are just looking to keep playing for a little bit longer.
Yeah, my larger point is how they said we want to build a culture. That's what they've been saying with these vets. But the way it's tough because you have Doug who's talking about Sacramento culture when you have a bunch of guys that aren't connected to Sacramento. And I know that might be rich coming from me, but look, I had a kid out here. So, it's real.
So you're
real. I pay
naturally-
taxes out here.
naturally
You know
you're
what I mean?
part
I'm part of Sacramento now.
The reality is, like, the history of what it means to be a Sacramento King is not this, like, positive thing that Doug is speaking on right now. That's what he's trying to change it to, and that's why he's trying to alter it. It makes sense. But from a player perspective, like, you hear this, like, we want to be the Sacramento Kings, like, what it means to be a Sacramento King. Right now, it does not mean anything good.
No.
I'll tell you that. And like, I just don't think that the players honestly even have a reason to have that much of like I want to take pride in turning this around. Zach is probably only going to be here 2 years. DeMar could be gone after this year. Domas might not be here after 2 years. Like, it's hard to sell these guys on like wanting to change something for this city and change the culture of a team that has been towards the bottom of the league for the past 2 decades, for the entire time that any of them have been in the NBA. The identity of the Sacramento Kings has been nothing but negative, and now Doug is talking like, oh, well, this is actually what it is. And again, I get why you're pushing in that direction. You need to change that, but it doesn't seem to be hitting with these guys.
I just wanted to defend DeMar DeRozan quickly as we were kind of talking about these elder statesmen coming out and, buying in or not, whatever the case is, but I just thought about it when we were going back and forth, Chris, off the top of my head. Yeah, DeMar signed up, and look, the word on the street is that, there was a bit of a Sacramento tax involved that got him out here to come on home to Sacramento, but there was also De'Aaron Fox, Mike Brown. This ain't what he signed up for.
No.
This is not what he signed up for. So if there is a level of, man, I don't really know what the hell is going on out here. This is not the team that I signed to. The coach is gone. The GM's gone who brought me on. So even if at some point DeMar kind of wanted to, hey, yeah, I don't even know how to, you know, I love my comparisons. I don't even know what to compare it to. If you have your homes, maybe these guys are all in their mind, hey, that's a cool vacation home, right? Or a beach home in Sacramento, because they got their real homes where they've set up shop. I don't even know if it can be that, because the one guy, the big acquisition last season, when you blew that whole thing up, we didn't really talk about it. We talked about it with Malik. We talked about it with Sabonis. But DeMar was a guy who, this is not what I signed up for. So why, you know, what I got to hear some, let's be honest, I got to hear some rah type deal when I'm 36 and whatever season he's in. It's just not going to resonate.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to push back a little bit on, like, these guys aren't quitting on themselves. Like, it's not like they're out there. I mean, you know, there might be, hey, we're down 25. Like, I'm not going to put 100% effort into getting this comeback. But I don't feel like it's gotten to the point where these guys are thinking they're still showing up to the facility on a day-to-day basis. Like, I don't think they're really thinking about long-term and, you know, not buying into building an identity. Like, I think these guys all understand it's in their best benefits for whatever their goals are to win games. Like, if Zach LaVine wants to, you know, change the narrative about him in the NBA, he needs to win games, and that should be most important to him. Domantas Sabonis, same thing. DeMar DeRozan, you're 37 years old. I really don't think you can be thinking about what kind of situation you got yourself into. You're 37 and you have maybe a year and a half left. Like, you should be thinking about maximizing whatever is left. And so, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of easy to build the narratives around it. I think the reality is the team just isn't playing very well, and these things can spew out from losses, but I just don't necessarily think that these guys are out here giving up, or Doug has lost the locker room, or, they're not listening to him or anything like that. I think that they are playing really tough teams, and they themselves aren't a good team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess that we can live somewhere in the middle of, not Doug didn't lose the locker room, but I just don't know how much it's resonating. Like, how many speeches? I don't think anybody has mailed it in. I'm not saying anybody has mailed it in. It's just, if you're DeMar DeRozan, like, did he go to bed last night like, man, Doug's right? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like, they're either going to show up or not. And that's why, Chris, to be honest, a lot of this comes down. I want to see them on that stupid highlighter court tomorrow night, just to see what is going to be the case.
It's a cup game.
Yeah. It's a cup game. Man. Friday night, Minnesota.
Everyone wear the blue blocker
Bring the
glasses.
teals.
You're going to need the blue blockers.
Or not teals. What is it?
There you go. What were you going to say, Frankie?
Green.
I was going to say, DeMar DeRozan, just aside, he's averaging almost 20 points per game on 49% from the field, 40 from three. I mean, he's having a good year for DeMar DeRozan standards, but I think that they're playing. I mean, Zach LaVine's shooting still, 43% from three?
At trade value.
But it doesn't matter. Like, the point is, like, these guys could play at the top of their game. I don't know if it really matters, because, again, you have to stop the ball, and they're not stopping the ball at all. So,
and that's what's so like Doug Christie.
But that's what's so funny about all the numbers you just said, when their offensive rating is in the low 20s.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It just shows that this brand of basketball right now, the your turn, my turn, like Brendan, I'm going to keep pointing to it. They are the kings. They're all the kings of the midi now. They are the midi team.
Yeah.
And until they expand the zone and either drive in the paint, get the fast breaks going again, which was their bread and butter, by the way, when they were playing their best basketball, they ran. And they're not doing that right now. So, I don't know, man. It goes to show that all these guys could average their true numbers. And, we'll probably get into Domas at some point, how he looks like a shell of himself offensively as far as the assists go. He's averaging under 4 assists per game. But both ends of the floor right now, just nothing really to hang your hat on.
When we return, what is next? When things lighten up for the Kings, could we see some optimism out in South? Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings
on the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
Hi, I'm Kylie.
I'm John.
And I'm Garrison. And a little thing we love about the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets
is sharing it in the car during the holidays.
I do love that. We will pack the car with gifts. And of course, we go and pick up our family's favorite nuggets.
Every nugget is tasty times quadrillion.
And we get all the sides.
Yeah, the ooey gooey mac and cheese is a big hit.
Everyone from 1 to 116 would love Chick-fil-A's chicken nuggets.
Share the nuggets, share the joy. Order the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
The winter service event is on at Maida Subaru Sacramento. Now is the time to get your Subaru road ready for the winter weather ahead with exceptional savings on tires, brakes, wiper blades, and more. Maida Subaru offers the largest Subaru service facility in the Sacramento area. Factory-trained technicians, express service, and the all-new cafe now open inside the dealership. Don't miss this chance to get everything you need to get your Subaru winter ready at the Maida Subaru Winter Service Event. See all the service specials at maidasubaru.com.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
For Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. All right, guys. I read this off earlier. Don't laugh. Okay. Read this off earlier.
Bad start.
Okay. This is from my guy, Nick Angstad, Locked On Mavs. There's a reason he's looking it up. Since the 2000-2001 NBA season, there have been 120 teams to start 3-9 or worse. Only 16 of them made the playoffs, just 3 from the West. the 2003 Shaq and Kobe Lakers after the three-peat.
Wow.
The 2023 LeBron and AD led led Laker team who they had that big change at the trade deadline. Yep. That was Beam Team season, of course. And 2022, randomly, no Zion, the Pelicans, and they took a 64-win Phoenix team to 6. So I say all this to say, not that I think that the Kings are going to make the playoffs. I am on record saying that the Kings, their ceiling to me was always an 8 seed, and I thought if they did what they needed to do, they could get there. So far, they have not done what they needed to do. But I look here, guys, at the schedule, and to Chris's point, I believe it was Chris earlier, we knew this was going to be rough. We hoped that it wouldn't be as rough as this, but we knew this was going to be rough. We knew the beginning of the season, these first 20 games, were going to be ridiculous. We knew that. So now that we're here.
You specifically knew it.
I
you were like on it.
We were talking about
we were here on schedule release day, and you were already talking about how the first 20 games were going to ruin the season.
Guys. And people were not happy with me. Fans were not happy with me. Listeners were like, "This is Allen. You gotta you gotta make us feel better." I'm like, "The hell I do." I try to let you know. I'm trying to let you know. So now here we go, guys. All right, now we're
here.
Now we're 12 games in.
Now we're here.
Right. And I look here, you get the Timberwolves, who I've never been high on the Timberwolves. Y'all know this. But you got to go to the Highlighterville. Yeah. That's tomorrow. The Spurs have been balling. I don't know how much you saw, but that was a really good game with them and the Warriors. The Warriors somehow won. But the Spurs have been doing their thing. So the Spurs, that's on Sunday. Goodness gracious.
Yikes.
Huh?
How tall is Wemby now?
Very.
Yeah. But it's the other guys.
Good night.
De'Aaron turnover and a very important part of that game last night, by the way. I'm not hating.
13 points for De'Aaron last night.
Shout out the Riverwalk. Hey,
two guys had triple doubles. Yeah. De'Aaron had 13.
Steph's shoes, though.
Streets are talking.
Steph's shoes, though. Look good in them. All right. The Thunder, goodness gracious, you just can't get away from the damn Thunder.
Leave us alone, man.
Yeah, after this, there's another team that's going to tick you off, too. The Grizzlies, you got to find something there. Then you get the Nuggets again. That's the other team. Please just go away. Then the Timberwolves again. Please go away. You find your way through that. That's 6 more, fellas. But you find your way through that. If you can get a Grizzlies win, maybe one of these other teams, then you start to see some light. You get the Suns, you get the Jazz, you get the Grizzlies. You do have your first matchup in December. We're already in December at that point against the Rockets. But then you go to Miami, you go to Indiana, then you have a baseball series with the Blazers. It's still tough, don't get me wrong, but there's a little bit of light here. If we're taking a break from, are they going to tank? Is somebody going to ask out? Trying to get this thing back on track, how realistic is it? And at some point here, Barry in the lead, you're going to get Keegan Murray back, Brendan. So how realistic is it that this team can get back to somewhat of a respectable record? And maybe we say, okay, I mean, a couple things break here, there. By the way, injuries are always out there. I know the Lakers are going to get healthier. Some teams are going to get less healthy. That's part of it, too. The Kings haven't had Keegan. I mean, how far-fetched is it that this team can at least start to look somewhat respectable and, have a 9-seed conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it still feels in the cards. This is where you do the classic, they have talent, and we have no clue how it fits together. There have been good moments. It's not like it's all been horrible. For what it's worth, all their wins have been extremely close. But they went into Milwaukee and they beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
They played maybe one of the closest games of the year against OKC, who is playing ridiculously. They're 12-1 already. And so I don't know. I guess I'm attempting to talk myself into it because I'm really not there right now.
Talk yourself into a possible
them possibly being respectable.
10 seed?
Yes. I really think that's where I'm at right now because you go through that schedule and I'm like, they maybe could win 2 of those. And it's just about what is the faith that we have that at some point they're going to click and they're going to win 5 of 8 games to come back into this, And right now, I don't really have confidence in that happening. The season is long; they have a ways to go, and maybe that could piece back together. But right now, it really does feel like they just belong in that tier with New Orleans. Like, I don't know that I'm kind of leaning more towards, I think I just rated them a little bit higher than I more so am adjusting my expectations rather than thinking this is going to straighten back out.
The schedule's been absolutely brutal, too. I mean, I think I was looking at the schedule and entering, October 30th. That was kind of entering that gauntlet where they played Milwaukee, Denver, Golden State, OKC, Minnesota, into this homestand. And they still have Minnesota, San Antonio, OKC, like you've laid out, Denver again. But after we get through Thanksgiving, and you never know what can happen on any given night, things do, quote-unquote, open up.
It's super front-loaded.
I'm doing the air quotes. The Kings, and I'm looking at Tankathon right now on their strength.
Me too.
Not what you're looking at. Not the draft.
No, I'm not looking.
I'm looking at
that's later.
I'm looking at strength of schedule.
Me too.
And they're 26 right now. So
Tell them.
They're in there. They have a lot of teams like the Clippers right now. They're kind of a mess. They're 17th. Minnesota's 14th. They're probably going to be in the playoffs no matter what, though. Memphis is 11th. Golden State 8. Denver 7. New Orleans is probably getting that number 1 pick. They're at 6. They have a really tough road ahead. So is it possible that they can, like Brendan said, win 5 of 8, win 4 of 7? Get crazy. Let's get crazy and say they go on a 3-game winning streak. Can that happen at some point? Sure, but the way that they're losing games right now is what is the problem. It's not giving any of us here any confidence at all. Like last night, I got to the arena and Chris and I were talking. I said, I have no faith at all they're going to win this game at all. They're playing Atlanta. And you can't have that. You can't lose games by 30, 27. They lose by 14 to Denver. It's like, well, the game felt close, but they end up losing by 14. So the compete level they had in the first 5-6 games where they weren't winning a lot, but I think the first 5 or 6 games they lost, it was by 7 points or less. Get back to that compete level. You'll probably steal a couple of games that you should, maybe lose some that you wouldn't, but right now they're just getting steamrolled every game they play.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is we knew that the tough part of the schedule was going to be front loaded. The question was, are you going to be so behind the 8 ball by the time Keegan comes back, by the time you get to after Thanksgiving and you had your turkey and your stuffing, that it's not going to matter? And I think that's the problem right now. Even with me reading off who's next on the schedule, they still have tight games. You have to win some of these games against teams that Vegas doesn't think you're going to beat.
I have a question for you, though. They're a game and a half out of 10 right now. Where do they have to be on Christmas? How far back do they have to be from a 9-10 seed on Christmas to have you feel, hey, maybe they will hold on to some of these guys? Do they need to be within 3 back?
Oh, to not trade guys?
3-4.
To not trade guys?
Yeah, that's kind of, we need like a measuring stick, like a barometer of where does this, if we're putting the let's be competitive hat on and see if the Kings can turn it around.
Yeah.
Where do they need to be for this team and the organization to be like, maybe they're on the verge of something? Is it a game back too, or if they're 5 or 6 back, I feel like you have to hit the ripcord and it's over.
We'll answer that because I think we all might have other answers on that. So we will answer that question because I know what my thought process is. We don't know what their process is. And Chris Watkins is going to let us know, is there a change within this lineup and rotation which could lead to that winning streak that Frankie Cardicelli is alluding to? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey there, Mark and Tom, the travel and entertainment guys with you, brought to you by Sports Leisure Vacations. Time for our weekly travel tip, and with it, here's Mark Hoffman.
A number of years ago, the airlines figured out they could break up their product and charge us more for the pieces. Passengers would not only buy a ticket, we could be enticed to pay for a little more legroom and coach, or what the airlines considered a preferred seat in the middle of the plane. Hotels have been watching. Now they're creating their own versions of unbundled pricing. Some services are new, some are not. Words of warning. It's time to check your hotel confirmations carefully. Hotels that let you check in early or stay late without charge will be fewer and further between. Want extra pillows or bottled water in your room? Pony up a few bucks. Service is included on the level it used to be. Nickel and diming your customers is in fashion. Buyers beware, or at least be informed.
More tips to make you a smarter traveler, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento, the stages are heating up, and Sactown Sports has your tickets to the biggest live shows coming your way. Kick things off with hometown favorite Tyler Rich, bringing that California country sound to Ace of Spades on November 22nd. Then crank it up with Spike and the Gimme Gimmes, the punk rock supergroup that knows how to throw a party, November 29th, also at Ace of Spades. Need a laugh? Don't miss comedy legend Mike Epps, live December 5th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. He's guaranteed to have you rolling. And keep the music going with rising country star Larry Fleet, December 6th at Ace of Spades. Smooth vocals, killer songs, and all the good vibes. Then mark your calendar for Brooks and Dunn, April 25th, 2026 at the Nugget Casino Resort in Reno. It's going to be neon lights, boots, and big hits. Catch all the action on the Sactown Sports live events calendar at SactownSports.com and keep your weekend's game time ready.
No payments for 90 days on every new vehicle in stock at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. That's right. No payments until February 2026. Find them online at SacSuperstore.com, and they're centrally located right across from Hayden Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
Well, you know it's normally not a good sign. And by the way, we're giving away Matt Rife tickets in 15 minutes. But you know it's normally not a good sign when the Kings do make it onto the national shows. And we looked up and we saw Doug Christie and his post-game presser, and now Big Kendrick Perkins giving his assessment, which I'm sure is just amazingly thorough and just a great breakdown. So, guys, here we are on it. Chris, before the break, we were going to discuss whether or not, not doing the We are not doing the guys asking out thing or whatever it is. There's plenty of time for that. And Sam Ament kind of spoke to that and the market. But with the requisite pieces, okay, with the ingredients that Doug Christie has, any moves that you would make within the rotation or starting lineup that you would just say, I think this could help? Is there anything?
I think it's the most simple thing would definitely be taking Schroeder out and putting Russ in, and I think that's more, if anything, just as cut, dry, and simple as Dennis Schroeder hasn't played well and Russell Westbrook has had moments of playing really, really well. And I think you don't really worry about fit or scheme or anything like that. I think that is a simple solution that you can do, and who knows if it injects any sort of different life, because we've also seen, I mean, last night, I didn't even think about until like halfway through the second quarter, Trae Young wasn't playing because Atlanta was already up 15 and 20 points, and so it didn't matter. So I wonder if maybe Russ can help them bring that energy to start the game. We know, obviously, they've lauded him for bringing energy off the bench. That would be the first thing. I would probably start to think about, Nick Clifford's playing really well, as, now we've started to wonder, when is rebuild going to start and when does that transition happen? I think that would be a nice symbolic gesture towards that, but it just becomes the natural conversation that we always end up circling around of, okay, well, he can be inserted in the starting lineup with Keegan out, but once Keegan returns, it's going to be a DeMar or Zach LaVine has to move to the bench. So I've actually really liked what Precious Achiuwa has brought to the team. I'm not saying he needs to have his spot taken, but I think Neek has played it well enough to, I think you're at the point now in the season, or at their season, where you just got to shake the snow globe because something needs to feel different. And I do think Neek entering the starting lineup, as well as Russ, just makes things feel really different.
Yeah, I mean, if it were up to me, I would be going with Keegan out, because I do think Keegan maybe not solves, but shores up a lot of these things. But with Keegan out, I mean, what Chris said, I'm starting Russ over Dennis. It's just, I think Russ has easily been the better player, and you can revert that at some point in the year. But right now, I think that Russ has been the best player. I don't think I'm starting Precious. This is one of those where it is probably matchup dependent, but I'm going Keon, man. Something I would say a bunch the last few years was that the team was good enough on offense to win any given night and bad enough on defense to lose any given night. And I don't think the first part is even true anymore.
Yeah.
And so get some sort of 3-point shooting back out there, and obviously Zach, if he's healthy and out there. So, yeah, I guess I was going off my mind because Zach wasn't out there last night. But including Zach, I mean, I'm just going Russ, Zach, DeMar, and then, Keon and Domas. And there's probably the direction that I would go.
And that's the thing. I was any one of these, really, if tomorrow it's, okay, Westbrook's in the starting lineup and Schroeder's on the bench. Sure. If that's the only change that happens and LaVine returns, okay. They tried something. If Keon Ellis gets put in there, who's shooting 46% from 3 on 3.8 attempts per game. Last night he took 14 field goal attempts, 11 threes. I want to see more of that. I don't need to see more mid-range attempts and more your turn, my turn. Let's see some of the young guys, Neek Clifford, get some shots up. When Keegan comes back, I want to see him taking 15-plus field goal attempts per game. That's what I want to see. And push is going to come to shove. Keegan's going to come back pretty soon. I think G-Man said he talked to one of the Kings' assistant coaches on the air last night for his pregame show, and that Keegan's catching the ball now. So, I don't know how far off that means he is from.
Monday was the 4-week mark.
Yeah.
And it was 4 to 6 for reevaluation.
I'd imagine it's a hunch. It probably will take, till the beginning of December, maybe? It's mid-November right now. Probably another couple of weeks. If he's just catching the basketball, not a doctor. But if it's the month mark, it was 4 to 6 weeks. We'll see. Maybe he's surprised and comes back in a week or two. He's coming back pretty soon, though. Yeah. So having him back out there and kind of changing that guard spot, unless Schroeder has a big kind of, all right, there he is. There's the 15 points, 7 assists, shooting, 50% from the field and not many turnovers. If that happens, great. But it looks like right now that the smart thing to do would be put Russ out there and see what you can get. But any change right now, you can't have a speech like that post-game saying you expect more from your guys and you're demanding more after watching this 4-game losing streak, how it happened, and not try to make some kind of change. And we're talking about Precious, I think that adding him is a good addition, but Precious he's come off the bench for the majority of his career, especially with last year with the Knicks. So I do think that that's a move they should make. Any of those three, Neek Clifford, Russell Westbrook, Keon Ellis. I feel like that's what you need to do tomorrow.
Yeah, and I agree, and that's why I kind of asset in that way. You can't do and say what Doug just did and run the same thing. Or at that point, then a lot of people are just going to say, all right, well, you're saying one thing and kind of doing another, because we know what this team is. And in the current state with the rotations that you've been doing, even though they've run a lot of different lineups, it's still a lot of the same guys. It's interesting that the DeMar DeRozan thing to the bench hasn't really come up, but it's almost as if, well, offensively,
he's still scoring out
there. There's not enough scoring.
Night, really, yeah.
There's not enough
scoring. Right,
because
the offense does look bad at points. And that's where it's like, well, it would be nice to have a guy who can be a little bit of a, just feed him in the post 5 possessions and it'll get you 8 points.
Yeah.
And, I think it's really tough. And I think, in an ideal world, I think it's very obvious, and it's something we all knew from it not working out in Chicago, but DeMar and Zach just can't start to, like, they cannot be playing 30 minutes plus together. And I think the quicker the Kings can figure out some way to not have that happen, whether it be trading one of them off, whether it be having Neat Clifford be playing well enough to kind of get those minutes, I just think the quicker that they can get to trying to figure out how to get more guys who will play two-way basketball is the only way that this thing is going to work in today's NBA.
Yeah, real quick, I want to get to us around the room giving our thoughts on where this team needs to be, if they would blow it up or not at the trade deadline. But real quick, guys, we've talked for an hour and said nothing about Domantas Sabonis. I know we mentioned that. I think it was you, Frankie, kind of a shell of himself offensively, or it was one of the three of you. What do we do? What are we doing? Like, where is that on Doug's priority list to, I guess, maybe get him more touches? Is that just not who he is? I know he's kind of injured. What are we doing with Domantas Sabonis?
You have to you don't have any movement shooters out there. I think one of the best things that Domas was good at over the years was finding the Kevin Huerters, the Keegan Murrays. Keon Ellison's on the floor. You have Zach LaVine, who usually is not coming off a DHO, not kind of coming off movement. He's stepping into a 3, creating his own offense, which is great. Like, he's a bucket getter. But Domas is kind of at that point setting picks or getting ready for the board. Having players like Keegan back, having Keon on the floor more. If Neat Clifford can be an option there, that's great too. But kind of getting the offense back where it's not in DeMar DeRozan's hands as much. Russell Westbrook, he's been playing well in spurts, but having Domas kind of get the ball again at the top of the block is kind of where a lot of that action would happen. Mm-hmm. And right now, there's no shooting. There's no spacing in that starting lineup at the moment. I mean, Dennis Schroeder's been shooting the ball poorly. Zach LaVine's making his triples at a pretty good rate, but like I said, it's on his own. DeMar DeRozan, same thing. He's not really someone that kind of moves off ball and comes off screen. So I feel like when you look at this current variation of the Kings lineup, it's so much different than what we've seen the last couple of years. And that was kind of the issue. I think we looked at it last year when the Kings brought DeRozan in the first place, how the spacing would be an issue with Fox, who's kind of hit or miss on threes, and DeRozan, who's never been a three-point shooter. He's making him at a decent rate this year, but Domas is just doesn't look comfortable to me.
Yeah. All right. Before we get you guys out of here, we were talking about where these Kings need to be in order for them to, I guess, not blow it up, or I don't know about. Dave says they're not going to add to it, but at the very least, not blow it up, guys. To me personally, this is where I think they should be. If you are the 9 seed, and we're approaching February, 3 games or less behind the 8 seed. I don't want to hear anything about no 10 seed. Come on now. You know what I mean? This is the West. This is not the Miami Heat in the East. So, in my opinion, if I'm Scott Perry, if we are the 9 seed and we are 3 games or less behind the 8 seed, I would contemplate seeing how it plays out. Other than that, I'm setting the TNT to it. What about you, Brendan?
If it is fully up to me, I don't not care what the record looks like at all. I'll tell you that. I think that given that I think they do want to win this year, right, to whatever extent that may mean. Even just the aspect of, you guys know this, I mean, the stadium is looking a little dry these last couple days.
Them gray seats be gray.
The worst I've seen it in a long time.
That's not what the organization wants to see, obviously. So I'm going to give it a little bit more room than that. Like, I'm going to say 5 games if they're within 5 games, which I know is a stretch. But I think that it's December. You'd still have, 40 games to play or so, maybe even more. By that time, probably more like 50 games. So I would think that they'd still feel like we have a chance to come back. It probably has more so to do with, like, are they having these type of losses still? right? Because if you're 5 games, but hey, like we're competitive most nights, then that's a lot easier compared to it could be 4 games, but man, we just got cooked for a week, you know?
That is where the John Collins conversation starts to
come home.
The voice comes out.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez, Frankie Cardicelli. We appreciate it, and they will be back next week to break down what else has happened in the Kings. Be sure to follow them on social media and our Sactown Sports official social media, as well as check out all the things that they have to say on SactownSports.com. Manolo Hernandez-Duen joins us on the other side to discuss the postseason awards for Major League Baseball. MVP tonight. Tony Vitello, is his hiring insulting? And what is going on with the possible lockout in 2027? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents it's local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Savings abound at Elk Grove Honda during the Honda clearance event underway now. This is your final chance to drive home in a new 2025 Honda Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline at Elk Grove Honda clearance prices. Right now is the right time to save, and if you're looking for pre-owned Hondas, Elk Grove Honda has a huge inventory. Visit the Elk Grove Honda 2025 Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline clearance sale at Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is being brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco falls at home to LA on Sunday, 42-26. Matt Stafford, a huge game for LA. He threw for 4 touchdown passes in the victory. For San Francisco, they fall 2 games back of LA now in the standings. LA and Seattle atop the division lead. Next up for San Francisco, they're in Arizona on Sunday.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That fun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140.
De donde crece la palma y antes de morir yo quiero cantar mis versos del alma. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
It is time. Be the first to win a pair of tickets to see comedian Matt Rife bring his newly announced Stay Golden World Tour to Golden One Center on October 11th, 2026. We are looking for caller number 3. Caller number 3. Got to be quick today. Caller number 3, 916-339-1140 to win one of the first pairs of tickets to see comedian Matt Rife at Golden One Center on October 11th, 2026. That's caller number 3 at 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. And they are coming in quickly here. Ramsey's going to handle that. And then we are going to have a nice conversation with Manolo Hernandez-Duen, MLB writer and BBWAA member, voter of the postseason, or one of the voters for postseason awards. We have some great conversations coming up with Manolo, especially when it comes to the free agents and the possible lockout in 2027 that I certainly hope doesn't happen. So we are going to handle that once Ramsey finds that winner. And I'm going to get to some of the texts because I haven't gotten to really any of the texts all day long. It has flown by today with everything that has gone on. Why are you talking about winning? We're falling behind. We're tied for 4th worst. Tank, that's from the 916. Yeah, I mean, they'll get there, right? Right now, they don't think they are, but that's probably where this thing is headed if they continue to lose basketball games. 916 says, I thought Scott Perry sort of told DeMar he tried to get him to a contender over the summer, but there was no market for him. I don't know that that was ever confirmed. I think that when it comes to DeMar and why he is still in Sacramento, personally, I think there probably wasn't a huge market, which is part of the reason he's still here. That's just how I feel. And that's not DeMar having an issue or disliking Sacramento. Let us remember, not the GM that he signed with, not the coach that he signed with, and De'Aaron Fox was here. So the reasons for DeMar DeRozan to stay, there weren't a ton of them. But if they surveyed the market and they thought either there wasn't a large market for him or they weren't going to get enough value, even if there's one thing to not get as much value, there's another thing to not get any value. Look, I don't want to put them on blast, but, you know, these resell stores, if you will, I'm not going to say the name of one in particular, but I believe there's one out here. I think it might be Folsom. There are a couple, the one that I used to go to, I believe it was in Pleasant Hill, but when you would have leftover or you would have old equipment that you would want to sell, right, and you go to sell it, And I remember how I had a glove, and the glove, I had really barely worn the glove, and I wanted a different glove because I dropped the ball in it. So, of course, I needed a new glove. And like I said, I hadn't really used it that much, and they tried to get it because, they got to resell it and make some money. And they said, okay, well, we can give you this much for it. And I was a broke college kid, so I said, fine, I'll take it, knowing that it was not a good deal. That's not where the Kings were in the summer, right? The Kings said, we want to at least see, number one, we want to see if we surprise some people. And number two, even if we don't surprise some people, we want to see if the market changes at all, injuries, whatever could change where DeMar could have a different level of value. I mean, you have Bleacher Report. We didn't talk about it today, but we're going to get into it tomorrow. Bleacher Report had a trade where it was John Collins, who is on an expiring contract, but it was John Collins, okay? And John Collins was headed to Sacramento and heading to Sacramento with the protected pick. So we'll talk about that possible trade tomorrow. And that never would have been talked about during the summer. Never. So that's the decision that they made. And, I don't know how much of it was, hey, yeah, I can't wait to play with this coach that you guys just hired from an interim standpoint, and now he's the head coach, and a GM that did not bring me in. I can't wait to do that at 36. So, I think I'm kind of with you there, 916. And speaking of gloves, let's get to our guy, Manolo Hernandez-Duen, who is an MLB writer and BBWAA member. He also has a vote when it comes to postseason awards, and the postseason awards are coming out right now. Manolo, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you, my dear friend. Ramsey, nice talking to you. I always enjoy your conversations there in the stadium in West Sacramento, where the Athletics.
Much appreciated, sir. Much appreciated.
Let's start here, Manolo. The MVP voting is coming out tonight. Obviously, you got the NL and the fight in the AL between Cal Raleigh and, of course, Aaron Judge. We would never ask you to say who you voted for, but just give us your thought process on how you would weigh some of the factors here with Cal Raleigh being a catcher and people saying, hey, offensively to do what he's doing and to be a catcher at a high level, that's more impressive than Aaron Judge in the outfield. Give us your thought process when it comes to voting on the MVP.
Yes, my friend, thank you very much. I did have another vote, and I could talk to you about that a second, because that already happened. This was Nick Kurtz being the Rookie of the Year in the American League, an unanimous vote. Congratulations to Nick. I also have that vote for MVP. I can't talk about who I vote for, but I can tell you that I feel very strongly that, when you have two super hitters, as you have Cal Riley and you have Aaron Judge, super hitters because both of them are super sluggers, and you have one of them that plays such a great position, which is catching, and he also excels in that. Without telling you who I vote for, I think that's a no-brainer. Cal Riley should be the American League MVP.
And as you just mentioned, Manolo, you spoke about Nick Kurtz, unanimous MVP. You and I had the blessed privilege not to only watch him and the runner-up in the American League, Jacob Wilson, play in person, but we had a chance to talk to both those gentlemen throughout the season this year. Just let our listeners and watch our viewers on YouTube, just let them know a little bit into their personality and how they are two great individuals, not just on the field but off the field.
Yeah, I'm happy that you mentioned both, because if Kurtz would not have won the Rookie of the Year, for sure Jacob Wilson would have won it. It's something that only has happened 5 times in the history of the American League. 2 rookies go 1-2 in the Rookie of the Year award. And both guys, they always talk about having a competition, but a friendly competition. These are 2 great athletes, 2 great ball players. As a fact, I think that if the season ended for some reason in the middle of the season, probably Jacob Wilson would have been the NBA Rookie of the Year, because he was the first shortstop rookie ever to be voted into the All-Star game as the shortstop of the American League. Such was the fantastic year he was having. Kurtz was having a great year, but we have to remember that he was called up. He already had played 21 games in the minors, 33 in total in his career. And he had the numbers, but by that time, Jacob Wilson had better numbers. That's to tell you how competitive this race was. Both you and myself had a chance to talk a lot with them this year. We know they are two great human beings, and it's very possible that they're going to be two great players with the A's for years to come.
Talking to Manolo Hernandez-Duen, MLB writer, BBWAA member, and we're discussing some of the postseason awards and where Major League Baseball is going. Manolo, let's go in this direction. Tony Vitello, the first coach to make that jump from college coach to Major League Baseball manager. Joe Madden was on the Giants flagship. He said, for lack of a better term, I would call it insulting, but he did wish Tony Vitello the best. You had Ken Rosenthal write a piece about all these young guys, the 33-year-old that was hired to manage the Nationals. What are your thoughts on where baseball is going, kind of taking a break? And there were a couple retread coaches hired, but what are your thoughts on specifically Tony Vitello, who has no Major League Baseball experience, and just the idea that some of these teams are deciding to go in a different direction from the typical coaching carousel, if you will?
Yes, this is a very interesting subject, my dear friend Ramsey. I had a chance to talk to Vitello after the respective press conference. He seems to be a very nice human being. He knows he's got a challenge, many subjects he has to address. For example, we were talking about the fact that now he has to manage people from different nationalities, something he has not done because, Major League Baseball these days, and now especially when they have a lot of Japanese playing in the majors, about 40% of the players were born in other countries. So you have to manage a team, not only good players, but people that have different cultures. And it's very interesting what he's going to do. He seems to be somebody, he loves talking about the game. Of course, he only has managed, not all managed, but coached at the college level. And certainly it's going to be a challenge now managing all of these guys to make trillions of dollars each year. So I think it's a good idea. I think Buster Posey is somebody that's working very hard to translate the players he's got right now to be a team that contend again in the National League West. I think it's a good idea. I respect what Joe Maddon had to say. He always speaks his mind. He is a very good friend of mine. And, of course, there are a lot of people that think in the same way, but they don't dare to say it, especially publicly. Joe Maddon came up and he said it publicly, and that you have to respect him for that. This is a country where you could say whatever you want, and as long as you stand to your ideas. So I respect him for that. I do think, the manager is not the only one that decides each game, of course. They have a whole team behind him. Obviously, the Giants want to go in the sense of sabermetrics over everything else. I respect them for that. I don't really share that. I still think that the sense of managing a team has to go first, and all the numbers that goes around them. But of course, I respect the opinion of a lot of younger guys that thinks otherwise, and I hope Tony has a very good year this 2026 and beyond. He's going to have a lot of critics. No question about that. Maddon said it publicly. A lot of people are not going to say it publicly, but he's going to have an eye in his back every single day.
Speaking of managers, Manolo, we had repeat winners for Manager of the Year with Pat Murphy, the Milwaukee Brewers, who had the best record in Major League Baseball, and Stephen Vogt of the Cleveland Guardians. Were there any potential surprises in the voting, or was it something that you could potentially see both of them as repeat Managers of the Year once the regular season concluded this year?
Yes, I saw this coming, and both of them did fantastic jobs. Pat Murphy, of course. By the way, Pat Murphy was known for all the job he did in the minor leagues and in college. So you try to put a little picture of Vitello there and compare him to Murphy in such a way. But Murphy led the Brewers to 97 games. Of course, the games of the postseason doesn't count. But that was the best team in Major League Baseball, 97 wins. Usually we have one or two teams that have more than 100 this year. He guided the Brewers to 97. Then you have Stephen Vogt. He had a team that at some point of the season, he was 15 games and a half behind first place, and he managed to take them to another outstanding year. We had a chance to talk a lot with Stephen Vogt because, of course, he was the catcher of both the Giants and the Athletics, especially the Athletics. His dream was always to manage in the major leagues, and I applaud him because he has done it with only 1 year of experience before that first year as manager of the year. He was coach for the Mariners, then manager of the year 2 years in a row. He's somebody that has a lot to do with communication before anything else. And that's a very important thing these days as well. Communicating with your players, have the chance to get the best out of them. The big picture is always the manager, but you have to see how he deals with his players. And Stephen Vogt is a master of that when he was a player, when he was a coach, and now as a manager. So it doesn't surprise me at all that these gentlemen are the manager of the year in both leagues.
Talking to Manolo Hernandez-Duen, MLB writer, voter for postseason awards as well. Manolo, the GM meetings are going on. We've seen some reports that some of these relief pitchers, there might be some movement a little later in the day. So many conversations going on as we get into the offseason and the spending, the Dodgers, all the money that they spent as well, and the lockout situation. Where do you think that this lands, as it wouldn't be this year, but next year in 2027, when it comes to the potential lockout? Where do you think this whole thing lands with the salary floor and the salary cap? What are the chances that there isn't a lockout? Let me ask it that way.
Well, it shouldn't be a lockout in the first place. Please, with all of those billions of dollars going around for both sides. You know, it's nonsense. For me, it's always been a nonsense that they don't come to a very easy solving this kind of situation and take it to litigation and even talk about a lockout. Like, you know, it makes me very mad about this. And it's good that we talk about this subject because I think that one thing they have to solve is the salary cap and the salary minimum. You know, because I don't disagree with all of those teams that pay a lot of money. You know, the Dodgers pay a lot of money, they win. The Yankees paid a lot of money, they did not win. So it's also a matter of spending wisely the money that you have. There are other teams that don't spend nothing. And, you know, it's a surprise that they get so far. But I think it should be a limit in both cases. It should be a limit of the salary cap as they have right now. They have to pay taxes for that. And they also have to have a limit in the lower salary. It should be that the teams are paying those big amounts, and then teams that pay practically nothing. There should be a minimum that each team has to spend each year. For example, the A's, because we know the A's, they should have to pay a certain amount to be able to even compete. They are in the game, one of the 13 teams in the game. They say they play in a low market, all of that, but I believe that they should, the same as they have a salary cap, they should have a salary minimum for you to compete. And I think that's one of the things they're going to talk about in these meetings. That they're right now very peaceful. They're going to get accelerated and heat in months to come. Let's see what's going to happen. I obviously don't hope that they have to get to a lockout.
Manolo Hernandez Duen, MLB writer. Manolo, thank you so much for joining us. That was really great stuff. And trust me, my friend, over here, we are hoping that there is no lockout either, that they can get this thing figured out. Because I think that baseball had a really good stretch here in this postseason. And a lot of people that don't normally pay attention to it, they were paying attention to it. So we are thinking the same thing. And we thank you so much for joining us. We will talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you very much for the call, Ramsey. I always enjoy talking to you, and I hope you enjoy a great winter covering all the teams you cover, and obviously expecting to see you next year.
Thank you so much. That was Manolo, our guy, and man, I mean, he said it without saying it. The Cal Raleigh conversation versus Aaron Judge, that's the big one. And we're all going to find out tonight who's going to win that one. Of course, when it comes to the NL, there are always going to be the Shohei Ohtani thoughts and all of that because of what Shohei brings to the table. Here are the odds leaders. This was in September. There's Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, and in the National League, there's Shohei, Kyle Schwarber, and Juan Soto. And Shohei, minus 50,000 NL MVP odds. So once again,
as much as I hate to admit it, Shohei may be on the same path as Nick Kurtz. It could be a unanimous vote.
I mean, based on this, and I like Kyle Schwarber, but
so do I.
What are we talking about?
So do I. I would love to see Schwarber win it, but I understand.
Yeah.
And to follow up on what Manolo said, I'm in the category. Hopefully, I don't have a dog in the fight or make a decision. Hopefully, we get to where Cal Raleigh is the MVP of the American League for the simple fact, like last year, how Shohei was voted MVP because he did something that we had never seen in the history of Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. Cal Raleigh at catcher did something that we have never seen in the history of Major League Baseball until this season, which is hit over 50, let alone 60 home runs at the catcher position.
Mm. On the other side, it's time for another edition of Fair or Foul. This one is featuring Travis Hunter. He is done, but in his 2-year career and two-way play, is that done as well? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Kohl's has 20% off gifts that are so good, your family might think you read their minds. Check off your list now with cozy, thoughtful, and stylish gifts that will make them say, oh, how did you know? Yep, with these presents from Kohl's, you're going to leave them feeling impressed and convinced that you're a psychic. Shop Kohl's for an extra 20% off gifts that are the perfect fit. Select styles. Offer ends November 22nd. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Get Black Friday savings during the Happy Honda Days excitement going on now at Stockton Honda, Northern California's best Honda dealer. You'll score big with low payments, top trade-in value, and a huge selection of new Hondas. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m., 30 more minutes with you. And, of course, we're going to get into some NFL. And, Ramsey, I wouldn't even, brother, I would not even put you through it, okay, and do very similar to how I felt. And thank you again to our guy, Manolo Hernandez-Duen. That was great stuff. And the fact that he got to talk to Tony, you know me, I'm just trying to figure out what Tony Vitello is going to be. I think Manolo kind of laid out how Joe Madden, Joe Madden, I listened to the clip and everybody freaked out, to be completely honest with you. And if you're not sure what we're speaking about, Joe Madden was on the Giants flagship. And among other things, but this is what got everybody talking, he said the hiring of Tony Vitello was insulting. Okay, and he said he wishes him the best, but Joe Madden said it took him 30, 40 years to get his position. And, to see somebody come in and get the job that doesn't have it or doesn't have any experience, it felt insulting. All the Giants fans everywhere freaked out, and I understand it, but I kind of get where Joe Madden's coming from. The word insulting is obviously triggering, but I do understand where Joe Madden's coming from. And I want to, and this is what Manolo said, I want to applaud him for being honest, right? He's on the Giants flagship. He knew he's going to get dragged, and he said how he felt. You don't have to agree with him, but this was something that had never happened before.
No, plus what Manolo provided insight to, that most don't even think about. As Manolo said, Tony Vitello has not managed people from other countries because of where he's at the University of Tennessee. With, as we all know, and as Manolo pointed out, 40% of Major League Baseball now is from many Latin American countries, or just to sum it up, international players.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an entirely new world, entirely new stratosphere for Tony Vitello. We all wish him great success. Buster Posey hopefully knows what he's doing, and he brought back Bruce Bochy as well this week to be an advisor on top of Dusty as well, who's been there for I think the second or third year being back as the advisor. We all wish him well, but it's almost like it's a new experiment. We'll see what it looks like.
I'll tell you this much, Ramsey. This is something that Tony Vitello is quite used to, because you've probably heard that at Missouri, because of Max Scherzer and the crew, you probably heard that Tony Vitello was a pitching coach. Ramsey, did you know that Tony Vitello never pitched?
I mean, hey.
He was an infielder. Maybe he dabbled, but this guy, I mean, I'm thinking, because I'm thinking back to my playing time, don't you got to talk about, how you raise your foot and drive? Pitching coach at an SEC school and never pitched.
I mean, that's, the way you put it, you fathom it, you're just like, wow. But at the same time, to slightly counter that, if you're a baseball player, you should have knowledge of every position while you're on the field.
But Ramsey, I could not look.
Trust me, I understand exactly where you're coming from.
If somebody says, Allen, can you show my kid? I know you played baseball a long time ago. Can you show my kid how to pitch? I could give you the basics. I can't go to the SEC school and help you. But I guess my point is, Vitello does this. He figures it out, and he's the ultimate people person. So,
and that's a lot of what a manager, head coach, someone in that position. That's a lot of it. What it is, it's people managing.
Yeah,
regardless of the sport, you're trying to lead and manage a group of people.
I get it.
And if you have that type of personality and charisma with knowledge, and you can do it, I tip my hat. And like I said, I wish him nothing but success.
Oh, of course I do.
We'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, of course I do. I just found that hilarious because I just assumed he was a pitcher, and he was not. Based on what I could see, he was at a D2, then transferred to Missouri. I'll do a deeper dive, but I'm pretty sure Hunter Mentz, they just hired a new hitting coach. Pretty sure he said he was not a pitcher, and he took over and he balled out. All right, Ramsey, I'm not even going to put you through it, brother. But the New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots. Now, this is as bad as it can get. Maybe it'll be exciting in the first half just to see Drake May do his thing. But the line is 13.5 New England. Any interest at all in this game?
I don't have interest because, for the simple fact, I'm not an AFC East fan. But as much as people want to continue to knock the Patriots for winning 7 straight games, they play who's on the schedule. They won. They're 8-2. They lead the AFC East. I may not be a fan of the Patriots, but I mean, you got to tip your hat for what they've done this season.
Yeah, for anyone that is I'm not in a survivor pool, but I want to do one next season. I know a lot of people have a lot of fun. This would be, and I know I might be jinxing it, but this would be the one where you think, I haven't used the Patriots yet. Now today is the day. Now, anything can happen in football any given Thursday, but the tour dates joke that I've been saying with the NBA tour dates, I don't even know what the joke is for the Jets and that offense and ending games, Ramsey, with 10 passing. I mean, this is stuff that we've never seen before. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and it wasn't negative passing yards to end the game.
That was the one in
that was
Europe.
The London game against Denver.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but the one thing I always say, because there's never any rhyme or reason to it, Thursday Night Football always throws out some type of curveball or wild card, whatever it might be.
You're right.
I mean, we looked at it again. Let's speak back a couple weeks ago. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't recall the actual week. Steelers at Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thought with the, as they called it, the Unk Bowl. They thought the Unk Bowl, Joe Flacco was just going to be like, all right, the Bengals, we don't have anything. They came out, fought, beat the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm not saying the Jets are going to do anything. I know 12.5, 13.5 is a large number. Would I play it, or would Schmal and Miles play it? Not hardly, especially with it being on Thursday Night Football. But, I mean.
But we going to do it anyway.
But let's put it like this. Better team, better head coach, better quarterback.
Yeah. And
at the moment, it's the New England Patriots.
Yeah, and the Jets did win. They did it with their special teams and their defense. Justin Fields, Ramsey, in that game where they beat their fellow 2-7 Browns, Justin Fields threw for 54 yards.
Justin Fields, 2-0 against the home state of where his university is, Ohio. Against the other 47 states plus Alaska and Hawaii, 0-7.
Yeah. So there you have it for the game tonight. Real quick, Ramsey, fair or foul? This is the news with one Travis Hunter. This is worst case scenario, I think, to kick off a career if you're the Jaguars and you took this chance. Jaguars rookie receiver cornerback Travis Hunter will miss the remainder of the season after undergoing surgery on his right knee. That was on Tuesday. Hunter had the lateral collateral ligament repaired in Dallas by the Jaguars team physician. There was no additional damage to the knee. The team announced Hunter is expected to return to full football activities within 6 months. Ramsey, as far as a flash in the pan, is this the last we've seen from Travis Hunter, who wasn't fully playing two-way anyway, but is this the last that we've seen from Travis Hunter playing both ways?
I can't say one way or the other. Hopefully, I'd like to see him play on both sides of the football. But from what I have seen, what I've read, what people have said, he might be better suited on the offensive side than defensive side.
Which was funny because if you remember, he was a Seahawk. You wouldn't know it now because he never claims them. But Richard Sherman, remember, he wore the shirt, Travis Hunter, because Richard Sherman said he was a vanilla receiver. What I saw in Jacksonville this past season was not vanilla to me.
No, and speaking of Richard Sherman, for those that didn't know, if you go back to Richard Sherman's college days at Stanford, Richard Sherman started as a wide receiver before he converted over to cornerback.
That's right.
So therefore, he has the cache knowledge to speak on both sides of the football, which I definitely understand. But yeah, I didn't see anything vanilla on either side of the football from Travis Hunter, in my opinion.
He had some crazy catches. And look, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the same guy. I think Shohei should just do the closer thing. Okay, closer. Just be a DH and just close games. Enough with the starter thing. That's how I feel about it. And look, everybody got openers anyway, and they're just shortening innings and the amount of pitches that pitchers are throwing anyway. So that's how I feel about the Shohei thing. In the same breath, Ramsey, that's why I said he impressed me as a wide receiver. I think you could have packages if need be, right? But I think it's more of a cool gadget thing that in Jacksonville you haven't had a ton to celebrate. I know they had Saxonville a couple years ago with Blake Bortles, but I would say just let him be a wide receiver, man. The money is better. And if you're Travis, the money better. You got a new kiddo, right? Just go out there, be a wide receiver. You don't got to do it no more. You got drafted high. I think he probably wants to prove that he can do it. And that's all fine and good. But now you got this knee thing, and you weren't even playing as much as you were playing in Colorado. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, that's the main thing, as you said. He wasn't. He didn't get as many snaps in Jacksonville at the start of his first year, his rookie year, in comparison to, as we call him, his Coach Prime, playing him on both sides of the ball,
right,
which allowed him to win the Heisman Trophy.
Exactly. If he was doing it at the Colorado level and got hurt, then you could say, okay, now we can dial it back next season. They already dialed it back, and he still got hurt. So I think what we saw from him as a wide receiver is enough for me to say, brother, go get the cash flow. On the other side, Whitey Gleason joins us in a little bit of crosstalk. What did Whitey think about the Kings' performance last night, and where are they headed next? And yes, we will do prop talk, even though it's going to be a rough one. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Timberwolves. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 3:30 with tip-off at 5. Listen to your Sacramento Kings
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home with a 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
Savings abound at Elk Grove Honda during the Honda clearance event underway now. This is your final chance to drive home in a new 2025 Honda Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline at Elk Grove Honda clearance prices. Right now is the right time to save, and if you're looking for pre-owned Hondas, Elk Grove Honda has a huge inventory. Visit the Elk Grove Honda 2025 Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline clearance sale at Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
It's been a fun one, and as fun as we could make it after a game like that. But before we wrap up the debacle from last night, Whitey, I know you're going to have some conversations about it. And honestly, the beginning of the show and typically how the show breaks down is if there's a game, 10 o'clock we're going over it. 11 to 1 is kind of what's going on, the state of the state with the Kings. And 12, we did have roundtable. But we did not belabor, it didn't feel like we belabored any points with the Kings and tried to have a conversation besides how much they stunk. But they did stink, and I guess the question is how much they stunk versus you look at a team who's got a bunch of 6'8"ers and then young athletic pieces in the Kings, the level of how much they stunk versus, well, how much better could they be?
Yeah, I heard you talking about that earlier when you started the show, and it's something I think Jay and I were touching on yesterday, and Kayla, just that it doesn't make a ton of sense to break down, possession by possession with these games right now. Kind of pointless with everything going on, bigger picture. But yeah, it was just, I know if you're a real casual fan, which is, that's fine, but you probably think, oh, they'll beat the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks are, A, they're pretty good, and B, that's a really bad matchup for this Kings team right now.
Yeah, I don't know how that Bucks game to me, they only got 3, but incredibly impressive. No clue how they pulled it off. And I know that was the one with Westbrook, the flagrant foul, and it was real spicy. And I don't even know how many people got to watch it because it was 2 p.m. on a Saturday, but that, I think, gave Doug a level of hope. He went back to it yesterday. And it's rough, Whitey, when you're going back to games that you lost, right?
Yeah.
It's rough when you're going through the good points of the season and it was that the games were close for a majority of it.
Yeah.
That's when it's a rough setup right now. So, yeah.
I was surprised to hear you talking about, hey, how do they get this thing back on track and maybe make a run at the 9th spot? Because we don't want any part of the 10th spot.
What do you mean?
That's what you said. It's like, nobody wants a 10th position.
No. My whole thing was, if I'm Scott Perry, I think the 10th spot, at least you could make an argument if you were about 3 games out of the 9. Because my whole thing is get the 8 and give yourself 2 chances. But 10 to me is just thanks for showing up. Here's some shirts, right? That's how I feel. At least 9, a 9 that's close to an 8, you can make an argument. 10 to me, I guess the only argument would be, well, if 10 is right next to 9 in the standings, but just spiritually, I'm done with the 10.
So if you won half of your remaining games, you have 71 games left, right? Because there's been 11 games. So let's give you one extra one. That would be 36 wins. So if they won 50% of the games from here, you're at 39.
Wow.
Right?
That got dark fast.
Well,
that got dark fast. And we knew it was going to get dark fast just because of the start of the season.
Yeah.
The question is, how much do they make up on the other side and what this team even looks like? What's coming up on the show today, Whitey?
Today, Jay and I will take you up to just a crackerjack of a Thursday night football game. And, of course, we'll look at what's going on with the 49ers and some incredible injury news for the 49ers. Almost unbelievable injury news.
Really?
Yes.
Is it quarterback related?
It's just everybody related.
Is it Brandon Ayuk related?
They played the Rams and there was nobody on the injury report. That's what it is. That's incredible. Isn't it?
That is incredible. I mean, they got smacked, but hey, tiny victory. And that's what Sam Amick was saying about the Doug postgame, and I know you're going to get into it, but I pushed back on Sam a little bit only because last night wasn't the norm. I know
What part did you push back on?
I pushed back on Sam pretty much saying Doug might have to, and Sam wasn't saying there was an issue with last night, but in general, the approach of these guys got to play for Sacramento pride or don't put on the jersey, it might need to turn into, hey, let's highlight some of the tiny victories that we're having. I only pushed back because last night there were no last night you couldn't, right? And Sam is just saying in the future. So I guess I'm not even really pushing back. But last night you couldn't, number one. And number two, I guess what I am pushing back on is this isn't a tanking team. So tiny victories when you're paying Zach LaVine $40+ million and Domantas Sabonis $40+ million and you bring in Dennis Schroeder. So if they're losing games, but you're talking about Nick Clifford looks good in a post game, how's that going to go over?
How do we know they're not tanking? And I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Because aren't rebuilding and tanking, I mean, they're kind of interchangeable terms in a way.
But they're not right now. They're not right. They're not to me until somebody gets moved.
Okay.
They're not right now. Starting.
Well, they will never. We both know they will never say, "Oh, we're tanking." That doesn't come out.
No,
Teams
I mean
never say
they
that.
might be right. And now this is the tinfoil hat thing. A lot of people said that Scott Perry was basically saying, "Oh yeah, go get Dennis Schroeder. He'll work. Oh yeah, go get all these guys. And whatever you want, Vivek, we'll do it," knowing that it probably won't. That has been the tinfoil hat thing. And if you were one of those people, I mean, it doesn't look crazy because they're not Now the Keegan, he didn't know Keegan. That gets me every time, man. The Keegan Murray thing, they didn't know that was going to happen.
Right.
And I'm not saying, Scott was manipulating all this. I don't think there's any way, but
he never used the word playoffs.
He didn't.
Since he arrived when talking about the upcoming season. Not
He didn't.
once. Didn't even mention, we might be a playoff team.
Yeah.
No mention of that.
Well, and also the way he went about it and the fact that they did decide to not get a 4, right? I know Draper's guy. Draper on the show today?
I'm not sure. I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Right.
Probably. I know he's on his way to Minnesota.
He
but
said that if he gets there in time, he'll.
he's going to. I can't. He's going to be there. But if Draper gets his way, you go get the John Collins on an expiring contract, something like that. The Jazz would have been able to play ball some way. We know, you could find something for him. The fact that he didn't do that, Whitey, as much as, we're going to be prudent and patient, all of that, I think you might be on to something because there was a glaring hole that you just decided not to address.
I think that they were all in on Kuminga to the extent that they could be. And I think everything, why didn't they get another big or a wing? And I think it was, we're waiting to see what happens here.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it fell through, it was like, all right, that's okay because there's nobody else here that we really want. Precious Achiuwa, okay. But I really think Kuminga fit a lot of what they were hoping to start.
Yes, I agree with that. Ramsey, I got a funny one for you on the Prop Talk apps. It's bad when on the app that I'm on, they're offering a Drake May 0.5 promotion. So They know nobody wants any part of this game. I know spiritually we never normally do unders, but I mean Garrett Wilson. What is it even? Garrett Wilson's not even playing.
I'll take the under then.
Oh my goodness, this is so bad, guys. This is so bad. Stephon Diggs at 55.5.
Should the NFL have flexed out of this game, Allen?
Yes.
I don't think you can yet.
Unfortunately, you can't flex out of Thursday Night Football.
They need to start doing that.
It's a bad one.
Should have been.
Yeah, it's a bad one, and it's Amazon Prime. I'm looking around here, guys. Obviously, you get the Drake May promotion.
What does Schmallen make of this?
Schmallen is saying, pray that there is a Demario Douglas just long pass in the first half. I'm going to take Demario Douglas 24.5 and pray.
You know what Schmallen should say?
What?
He should move off of the NFL and look at the 3 NBA games tonight.
Well, that probably is what Schmallen should do. Ramsey, you got anything?
I mean,
come on.
Give me what would you say? What was the half for the Drake?
You can't take that.
No, what's the Drake made rushing yards?
See, here's it. You know what? Your life, 25.5.
Give me the over.
There's how? He's not going to need it, right?
He'll still scramble once or twice.
All right. And Whitey, oh my, Breece Hall 57.5. How's he going to get there?
He's not. I wouldn't expect to.
No.
Unless he busts one.
Yeah, that's what your fear is. What about Justin Fields 36.5 rushing yards? I don't like that either. Not with the Patriots.
I'll take that.
You think so?
I mean, no, but it's it's the most promising of what's available to me.
How do you feel about Stephon Diggs 55.5? He had 46 against Tampa. I just don't know how he's going to. Anything is just like a basketball blowout. Anything that's going to happen has to happen in the first half.
Thursday nights, though, you know how it is. Weird things.
Making Schmallen.
And Kayshon Boutte isn't playing again tonight.
No Kayshon Boutte.
Stephon Diggs. Go for it.
He's going to come up big. Mac Hollins, former Raider, set at 40.5. All right, Whitey, you're taking Justin Fields.
Can I take Stephon Diggs?
Sure.
Okay, I'll take Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, 55.5. Better get in the first half, brother. Ramsey said, who did you say you were taking, Ramsey?
Drake May over rushing yards.
Drake May over rushing yards, that's right. Give me Demario Douglas one long pass and just pray for Schmallen and his kids to get those diapers. Great show today. Thank you to the round table, to Chris Watkins, to Brendan Nunez, to Frankie Cardicelli. Thank you to Manolo Hernandez-Duen. We will find out who wins the MVP, as he is a voter in that process for Major League Baseball. We will talk to you, and great job, Ramsey, as always. Congrats to our winner. One more chance for Matt Rife tickets. Thanks to all the callers, texters, sack chatters, Whitey Gleason, Jay Johnson coming up next. The Drive Guys. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, like the beam.
Like the beam. Don't forget my podcast.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can